Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Hi, Jenny.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great. How are
Skip,
you?
you see about guy old Goat James?
You know
Play
what?
a little bit a minute.
I am so happy we don't have to talk about LeBron anymore on this show. He's out of sight, out of mind, out of the
I don't know
playoffs.
about that.
Out.
I would appreciate if you call him Goat James.
Goat?
Where's
Goat.
Lowercase goat?
No,
as
big
in
case.
the guy you blame for what just transpired. He
Big
was
horn
the goat.
sheep
He
James.
was the blame.
You know what, Skip Bayless? You saw that 30-10. You saw that 30-10 and 12 and
Nobody
27
else
minutes.
did. You're the only one watching.
Did you watch it?
I saw Kyrie. That's all I saw.
Yeah,
That's what you saw?
He was
Well, you
deep.
might see it again.
Kyrie just lit him up.
You might see it again.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah. He should light us up. We got G League players out there.
Kyrie and KD is the only two stars on the Lakers next year.
Don't do that, Skip.
Ooh,
Skip,
that would
that's
be
so
interesting.
At
wouldn't
some
it?
point in time,
Yeah.
Skip, you got to get that out your heart.
You guys have been waiting all weekend to get this thing going. We have a lot to get to on today's show. Could Le'Veon Bell be the next superstar to go to Oakland?
Yep.
Could LeBron actually be on the trading block? You didn't bring that up in your
Yeah, good
opening
bang,
there.
bang, gun.
But let's start with the huge trade in the NFL this weekend. The drama in Pittsburgh is over. Antonio Brown is headed to Oakland. The Steelers agreed to trade AB to the Raiders on Saturday for a 3rd and 5th round pick. AB is also getting a new 3-year deal for about $54 million with over $30 million guaranteed. Last week, the Steelers were reportedly looking for a 1st round pick for the 7-time Pro Bowler. Shannon,
Yes.
Who won the trade?
AB and the Raiders. Now, Skip, I've been abundantly clear on this from the very, very beginning. Ever since he did what he did in the locker room after that Kansas City game. I said that Steelers, move on.
Okay.
Leave it alone. But they gave him the long-term deal. Even after that situation, even after missed practices, even after the missed meetings, they gave him that deal. When he started, and this was, the Ben Roethlisberger thing had the respect and the disrespect that Ben leveled at him, and corroborated by Kevin Colbert coming out and said these 52 kids needs to follow Ben's lead.
Yep.
Verify, confirm what AB had been saying. So I don't want to make it seem like everything that AB did was on the up and up, and I don't like the way he handled this situation. But Skip, he won. He went from a situation in which he had no more guaranteed money starting in 2019. He bucks his way out of that system, gets a new deal. They tear that deal up, give him $54 million with 30 guaranteed. The Raiders trade Amari Cooper, a 3rd and a 5th, for Antonio Brown and a 1st-round draft pick.
Sorta, but go ahead. Yeah.
The Eagles traded a 3rd-round pick to get Golden Tate. Now, for a 3rd-round pick, which would you rather have, Antonio Brown or Golden Tate? Yeah.
I'd rather have Amari Cooper, but that's just me.
Amari Cooper can't shine Antonio Brown's shoes.
We'll talk about that in a
Stop
minute.
playing, Skip Bayless. Look, and still, Skip, when this woke up early yesterday morning, I'm looking, trending on my timeline, AB goes 3rd and the 5th. And then I read what people are saying. Skip, I said,
You got to quit doing that.
I can't.
You ought to just decide what you think.
No.
Not what people say.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. No, they don't sway what I'm going to say. What I'm saying is I can't understand how they can excuse when teams cut a player with 3, 4, 5 years left on a contract.
Okay.
But become so upset with Antonio Brown for bucking with 3 years left on his contract, wanting more money. That's my only thing, Skip. They don't influence what I say. When I come sit across this, whatever. You know when I come sit across from you, that's why I don't watch with sound.
Yes.
I don't let anybody influence what Shannon Sharpe says.
Why do you
I get
read
that.
your ads? Why do you read all your mentions?
I don't read mentions. No, I'm looking at.
Yes, you do?
No, I'm looking at the people that's upset
Okay,
they beat.
okay.
Right. No, I'm not meaning to mention. You say what you want. Sometimes I respond to people because I'm friendly like that. You all callous, hard. Like to sit on your ivory tower and look down on people. That ain't how I am.
It's just the other way
I'm a
around.
man of the people. But anyway, Skip Bayless. The Raiders, Skip, this was a no-brainer for the Raiders. They had the cap space, and they're about to embark upon something next year. They're moving to a new locale. Skip, they need players You wouldn't. I mean, and in Vegas, Skip, if you want to be a show, there are a lot of shows that's going on in Vegas. And when the shows aren't really good, they don't last very long. They need stars going to Las Vegas. Antonio Brown is a star. However you think he did to get out of this situation, he pouted, he sulked, he quit on his team. The fact of the matter is, someone got 6 consecutive seasons in which he had 100 catches. Someone went to 7 Pro Bowls, straight Pro Bowls. Someone is a 4-time first-team All-Pro player. He's a top 3 player, whether you like he, DeAndre Hopkins, or Julio Jones. That's the mix for the top 3 wide receivers. Antonio Brown is one of those. And the Raiders got him for a 3rd and a 5th round draft pick. So they won this. They knew the Steelers had no leverage. Antonio Brown, whatever leverage they thought they might have had, his antics on social media, his antics when he went public and voiced his displeasure and became very, very critical, not only of Coach Tomlin, but Ben Roethlisberger, it made it unattainable. There's no way he was going back into that locker room, Skip. You knew that. I knew that. So this is all they could get given the circumstances, because not only were you having to trade compensation, draft picks, you're going to have to give him a new deal. And the Raiders said, you know what? For this kind of talent, that's easy. We gladly give that up. AB won and the Raiders won. And the Steelers lost huge because they got nobody to replace him, and they got $21.1 million of dead money on their cap.
Well, you had me at win-win, but when you went to Steelers lose huge. You lost me. You lost me. I see this deal as a win-win-win because I think the Steelers won too, because they did have the guts to say, you know what? We screwed up. You and I both said you screwed up back in early 2017, February. You gave him the deal that you shouldn't have given him in the first place.
Correct.
They looked at what happened last year. They started out 7-2-1, then they missed the playoffs. And they believed that the biggest culprit there, the most blame, should be laid at the feet of Antonio Brown.
Correct.
They said, we cannot win with him going into next year. So it's not like they're trading their quarterback. No, they're just trading a wide receiver. Is he a really good one? Sure he is. Do wide receivers change your world? Are they the leader of your football team? Are they the most important position? No, quarterback is. So I submit to you, and I'll get deeper in this in just a minute, but I think the Steelers will be better next year without Antonio Brown. I think this was addition by subtraction. I realize they just had to give him away, but at least they had the guts to say, we can't do this anymore. We don't want to pay him the $2.5 million that they would have owed him at the end of this coming week for a roster bonus. They just said, cut losses out from under, give him away. And again, I'm with you. I'm shocked at how Antonio won because, boy, he hit the lottery here. But you know what happens? It reminded me 2 nights ago of what happened to Alex Rodriguez. Do you remember back in 2000 when he landed with the Texas Rangers?
Correct.
They got $252 million from then owner Tom Hicks. And everybody said, what are you doing, Tom Hicks? You're bidding against yourself.
Right.
Well, he was, but he didn't care. He just wanted the glitz and glitter of A-Rod in Texas, right? And around baseball, again, I was covering baseball pretty heavily at that point. The theory was it was the one nut theory. All you have to do is find one nut, like one crazy person.
That's all you need.
And I believe that Antonio found one crazy person, and it was John Gruden, because I think John did not handle the criticism very well, and it shocked me last year because he got more defensive by the Sunday, right?
He did.
And it started to eat him alive, and obviously the Raiders need some new credibility. They need a marquee figure. They need a gate attraction. They need a reason to even turn on the TV and watch the Oakland Raiders.
Correct.
And they got one. They got a highly controversial self-promoter who's also a deep threat, which is the Raider way. It was the Al Davis way. So he became sort of the vintage classic skull and crossbones Oakland Raider, right?
Tell me this move is not all Al Davis.
Okay.
Tell me Al Davis would have made this move, Skip.
Okay. I'm with you. I don't think John Gruden in his past life, in his first go-around as a head coach, would have made this move.
Probably
But
not.
I think he was desperate. To your point, they're on the verge of going to Oakland. Okay. And I can just tell you, I was just in Las Vegas, whenever it was, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
And there are Raiders shops everywhere in malls and hotels.
They're ready.
Already?
They have Raiders shops.
ready.
The whole shop is selling only Raiders gear. Guess what was out in front of every one of those shops? A life-size cutout, cardboard cutout of Chucky. Because he's the face of he's all you got to sell right now in Las Vegas is John Gruden.
Right.
Guess who's going to get replaced today?
AB's
going to replace John, right?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about this a little later. Will they jump on Le'Veon Bell so they can have a 2-for-1 punch here?
Right.
You know, 2 Steelers. You know, they can get 2 of the killer bees to put the Raiders back on the national map. Okay, I got it. But you found the one nut. You found somebody desperate enough that they had no choice but to try to make you happy. So they gave you a little bit more than Odell's contract, right?
Right.
But is he Odell in marquee value? Like, just look at IG followers for Odell. Odell's at 12.6 million. Antonio's at 3.2. So there's a huge drop. It's not like Antonio is a dynamo on Instagram. It comes across like that he owns social media. Well, not according to that figure, right?
But let me ask you a question. Who do you think is the better receiver, AB or Odell?
Well, that's a close call.
It ain't close.
I'd go Odell.
No, I wouldn't go Odell.
No, I would.
When are you going to see Odell play another 16 games? Because I'm waiting to see that.
Well, I'll tell you this. Let's just keep it in context, because I'm not going to let you. We said he couldn't. Amari couldn't shine.
Couldn't shine his shoes. Hold a candle to him.
I would take Amari Cooper any Sunday, any Monday, any Thursday, any day, any Saturday over Antonio Brown, because I can trust Amari Cooper. He makes plays, not waves, and I'm not going to trust AB going forward. Do you think he's suddenly going to turn into a model citizen? Maybe for a little while he will.
Well, I think John Gruden has an understanding of how he has to deal with these guys' skill. But this is what I know about AB. In 92 games, Antonio Brown has had 2 games in which he caught 30 yards receiving or more. Amari Cooper got 19 of those in 52 games.
Yeah, but what happened?
Okay.
Amari Cooper came right out of the chute as the 4th overall pick, and he makes boom, boom, back-to-back Pro Bowls. And then who took over as coach? John Gruden. Yeah. And what happened to Amari Cooper? He began to sulk. He did not respond to that kind of coaching, because that kind of coaching drove Keyshawn Johnson crazy back in 2003. Remember?
Yeah, it drove
John Gruden sent him home halfway through after they had won a Super Bowl.
And if Antonio Brown starts bucking, that's exactly what will happen to him.
Think it'll be an okay fit?
All right, but again, John Gruden needs to mellow out a little bit just to get them to Las Vegas, because I'm sure he's getting some pressure from Mark Davis above him, the owner who gave him 10 years and $100 million. We need some marquee value.
With that kind of money, Skip, ain't no pressure.
Okay.
So what are you going to do? Fire me? With 8 years left on the contract and $80 million?
Okay.
I think not.
Well, I thought John would go slowly but surely and build through the draft, but he is now crumbling under the pressure to give the fans what they want, which is some star power, right?
Yes.
Give him AB, give him Le'Veon.
Because it was more difficult than he thought.
Okay, but right now, would I rather have Amari Cooper catching passes from Dak Prescott or AB? I'll take Amari, because AB's got too much of that other guy in him. Remember that guy they cut last year? Remember that guy?
Who they cut?
What's that guy's name? Dez?
Oh, yeah. Dez can't hold this guy. Skip, look here. AB was on a Hall of Fame arc. The dude had 800. Dude was averaging over 80 catches a season. He averages about 90-plus yards a game receiving, which is tremendous. His production on the field is unquestioned. Now, here's my point to you. You say the Steelers win. Antonio Brown does not buck. He doesn't miss the last game of the season. He doesn't have this conflict with Ben Roethlisberger. Are the Steelers trying to trade him?
Well, obviously not.
Why not?
Well, they gave him a 5-year contract.
But you just told me they wanted him out of there.
Okay, well, what are you talking about?
You said
that made like the least sense you've ever made in the history of Undisputed. He did do all that. What do you mean if he didn't do that? Sure, then he'd be Amari Cooper.
You told me the Steelers wanted him out. But the Steelers wanted him out only after he started bucking. So don't make it seem like they wanted to trade him because he wasn't producing.
Okay, but he was bucking, as you say.
Exactly.
He wasn't bucking. He was destroying them from the inside out.
Exactly.
He was attacking the quarterback.
I don't look. And
you can't attack the quarterback.
Well, the quarterback can't attack me.
Okay. You know who's going to win that one every time? The quarterback. Every time.
You know why?
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, because you can find a receiver in the draft. Finding a franchise quarterback, I believe Ben Roethlisberger is a top 5 quarterback. Skip, no matter what you think of his leadership skills, no matter what you think he's done off the field, his play on the field, I believe he's a top 5 quarterback.
He is.
Those guys don't grow on trees.
Okay.
The Dolphins are still trying to prize a Dan Marino.
They are.
There are a lot of teams that's trying to replace. Jim Kelly retired in 97. You tell me Buffalo's found another Jim Kelly.
Okay.
They haven't. Those guys don't grow on trees.
Okay, so wait a minute. Is Ben still a Steeler?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so they're okay. I'm not saying
they missed the playoff with Ben last year, too, though.
Okay, but they missed the playoffs because they decided that the wave maker in the locker room was Antonio Brown. We got to get him out of here. Okay, so addition by subtraction.
Guess who the pressure's on now, though, Skip? You got no AB, you got no Le'Veon, you still got Ben, and you still got Juju. Now, what Juju's going to find out, all that double coverage that was sliding towards AB,
I got it.
He going to get a lot of that now.
Okay.
So now what happens, Skip, with no Le'Veon, no AB in that locker room, and Ben Roethlisberger doesn't get this team to the playoffs? Now whose fault is it?
Well, I think they will make it to the playoffs. And I think James Conner was a really good Le'Veon last year. I do.
He was this guy, Le'Veon.
Okay, well, the numbers told me that he was just about Le'Veon. Go look.
I love James Conner. I love what he overcame. But Le'Veon Bell, Skip, he's Saks Fifth Ave. He's Neiman Markup.
Okay. All right.
That ain't no Ross. That ain't no Marshalls, Skip. That ain't no discount.
Well,
you got to pay for that.
I liked him.
Pay the man.
And how about that kid, Jalen Samuels? Remember what he did against the Patriots that day? He went 19 times for 142 yards. So he looked like that 1-2 punch was pretty impressive.
Well, then why were they thinking about putting the transition tag on Le'Veon? You got all that. You got James Conner. You got all these guys. Why would you Why would you even put the franchise tag on Le'Veon? Why would you want him back when you got that?
Did they?
They franchised him last year.
They let him go.
You know why? Because they couldn't afford to put the tag on him. You know that. I know that.
Okay, but do they like Juju? They love Juju. How about James Washington? I watched him play a whole lot in college, and I loved him at Oklahoma State. And he struggled last year, and he got on the wrong page with Ben a couple of times. Yeah. But now it's time for him to rise and shine. Okay. Now it'll be different.
He's going to have to take a big step.
Did you like Vance McDonald last year?
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Excuse me. I like their tight ends.
Do you like their offensive line? I love their offensive line.
Very good.
You know?
I liked them last year.
And
was that offensive line there last year?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened?
Would you believe that their defense tied for first in sacks last year? That's pretty good.
So let me get this straight. You have a defense that tied for first in sacks.
Yep.
They were a top 5 statistically a defense.
They were.
You had Big Ben, who's a top 5 quarterback. You had James Conner. You had James Washington. You had Emmanuel. And you allow one man to keep you out of the playoffs.
Well, it happens. He's a force of nature on the internet.
I just can't figure that out, Skip.
Okay.
One man can do all that.
All right. Well, he
One
did.
man.
A 6th-round draft pick out of Central Michigan.
Yes.
Yep. Who ran 4.47.
4.57.
I thought it was 4.47.
You sure he ran that fast? I don't think he ran that fast.
I don't know. Maybe I.
But okay, he might be. I believe he's more quick than fast.
Okay. Well, Amari ran 4.42. So I'll take big and fast. I'll take bigger and faster.
But what does the numbers say?
You know? I don't really care about the numbers. I know what the numbers said when Amari got to Dallas last year. The number I took to the bank was 7-2 because that's the role they gave him on, and that counted that debacle on his first night against Tennessee.
And he still, even with those numbers, he had a tremendous season once he got there. He still. His best, absolute best season. Can't touch Antonio Brown's in the last 6 seasons' worst season. That's what Amari Cooper cannot do.
And how many championships did Pittsburgh win?
And how many has, first of all, how many have the Cowboys won?
Well, the Cowboys went and won a playoff game, which is something the Steelers didn't do this year, right?
So they're hanging a banner? I want to make sure I'm going to Jerry where I like to do a show there because I want to see the banner they hung for
Jerry
winning the playoff
already
game.
commissioned the banner. It's being
exactly.
They're sewing it right now.
Putting it together.
But here's the thing, Skip. I believe John Gruden. Look, John Gruden was my brother's position coach in Denver. I mean, not Denver, in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother swears by him, Skip. But he also understands that when you're dealing with these guys, and Antonio Brown, my brother was a number 1. Jerry was a number 1. You give him the ball early. and then you have them for the majority of the game. Another one of LeBron, AB's criticism was Ben was going the first quarter with not giving him catches. Now, Skip, I know that's petty. To you and I, that's so petty. Bro, but you're still getting 15 targets a game. But John Gruden is not going to let that happen. John Gruden's going to make sure within that first 15, AB's going to get a ball thrown his way. Maybe 1, 2, or 3 thrown his way.
Okay.
He also understands that he needs to be on his best behavior because it's 50-50. There are a lot of players that agree with AB. It's like, hold on, AB, yeah, you gave us a little power because the teams have been cutting players with 1, 2, 3 years left on their contract since this been going on.
Okay.
And nobody says a word. The one time, I've never seen anything like this, Skip. A guy with 3 years left on his contract bucked so bad that they get rid of him, and the team that traded for him rips that contract up, gives him a new contract with new guaranteed money. I've never seen anything like this.
He talked and acted his way right out of Pittsburgh.
Right.
You've covered the game longer than I've played and been around it.
I don't know. No.
I've never seen anything like this.
This was the flip side of Anthony Davis, because remember, LeBron and company wanted Anthony, but it wasn't like he was a bad guy, and it wasn't like New Orleans wanted to give him up.
Right.
They said, well, we want to wait until the summer.
Right.
So they just said, no, we're holding off. So it was like the complete counter of that, where Pittsburgh finally said, you know what? We got to give it up. And by the way, Antonio even exercised veto power because it sounded like a deal was done for him to go to Buffalo, and he said, I don't want to play for Josh Allen.
Because guess what? Because if he said he doesn't shows up, now he reverts back to the Steelers, and you're back to square one. And now you've lost all your leverage. Okay. At least you have some leverage, Skip. You get a third and a fifth. He shows back up before training camp, and you try and trade it. What you think somebody gonna give you for? Knowing he can't come to camp with you, knowing he can no longer be in your locker room.
Okay, but the Steelers were so sick and tired, they finally just said, give him away. What did I tell you last week? You would have to give me a third-round pick just to take him off your hands. And it started feeling like that's what was happening.
This is what I don't understand. It took Antonio Brown to burn the Rooney's house down before they realized they had to do something. Well, he'd been bucking like this for the last 4 or 5 years, and they never said he was bucking, and they gave him a contract with $19 million. It wasn't until he
gave it to him after his Facebook Live in the Kansas City locker room.
And he was late for practice.
That was on them.
Right. Exactly. So now it took this. Antonio knew exactly what he was doing. He says, you know what? Y'all ain't getting the picture. Me showing up and quitting on you guys in week 17 didn't tell y'all anything. Me missing these meetings and acting like I'm acting on the sideline didn't tell you anything. But I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to blast everybody. Okay. I'm going to put everybody's business in the streets.
Okay, but the only thing, if Pandora's box has flown open here, you better have a landing spot. You better have one team desperate enough that they'll do anything to get you, including giving you a whole new deal.
Well, you got to be that level of talent.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's all working out right now, but this is just the beginning of finding a new.
You better be talented. And Aaron Donald or one of these guys that have this kind of talent and kind of value, Skip, can pull a move like this. Don't be thinking now you number 38 of the 46-man roster, and you can pull a move like this.
Or you'll be on your couch.
We'll talk a little bit more about this in a bit, but we are going to switch gears to the Lakers and Lonzo Ball as he played his last game in L.A. We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here with a quick word about Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Undisputed a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at undisputed.robinhood.com. Now, back to the show.
no mercy.
Well, things were already bad for the Lakers, and this weekend it got even worse. Lonzo Ball has been shut down for the rest of the season with an ankle sprain, and if that wasn't enough, Brandon Ingram will also miss the rest of the season after tests revealed what's being called a blood clot in his arm. The Lakers have 16 games left and are now 7.5 games out of a playoff spot. So, Shannon, what's going on with the Lakers?
Skip, to say this has been a disastrous year would be an understatement. I don't think anybody envisioned a situation like this. But Brandon Ingram, B.I.'s situation is bigger than basketball. Now, the last guy that we remember had a blood clot in the NBA, Chris Bosh. It ended his career. Now, there's another athlete that has blood clots, and she's done quite well dealing with them. That's Serena Williams. B.I. was starting to play some of his best basketball. We're starting to see, okay, now I can see why the Lakers took this guy number 2 overall. Now, a guy that can put the ball on the floor, get to the hoop, can shoot the 3, mid-range game, post up. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is the B.I. that we saw, say, Skip, the last 10, 12 games that we had wished we had seen at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
Lonzo, B.I., and LeBron only played 23 games together. Last time they played,
They were really good when they played those.
15 and 8.
23.
The last time that we saw all 3 of those guys on the court together was Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the last time we saw them together.
That was
That's
the
wild.
height of these Lakers. Yeah.
Went to Golden State and put a shellacking on him. Bron gets hurt, and we know what happened after that. Skip, for me, looking at it, teams are going to have to take a long, hard look because they say, what are we doing here? Because I believe any trade scenario, let's just say take it from a trade perspective, any trade scenario is probably going to involve him or was going to involve him. Not only are team doctors, they're going to get some of the most renowned surgeons around the world. Okay, what is the long-term prognosis of something of this magnitude? Skip, you're not giving up Anthony Davis for a guy that you only might have for a year. That's not going to happen. That's what's concerning. So this is bigger than basketball. Even though he was starting to play some of his best basketball, he was starting to look like a player like, oh, okay, Brandon Ingram, B.I.'s on his way up. Oh, I can deal with this.
Yeah.
Lonzo, maybe it's a situation, Skip, he's a slower healer than some. Now, they said, 6 to 8 weeks, and now we're 2 months. They shut him down, so basically it's going to be.
Now they're saying there's a bone bruise.
Right.
I don't know.
Skip, remember, he had off-season surgery. And I tell people all the time, if you limp into the season, Skip, how you going to get up out of it? Limp. When you rehab and training are entirely different things. Rehabbing is just trying to get you back to a point. Training is you're putting your body through a sequence of events that when you need to call on it in the fourth quarter or you need to call on it, it's there to respond. Well, all he did was rehab. He never got a chance to train, Skip. So this is where we are. Now, are they shutting him down for the long-term prognosis where he's going to be our starting point guard? Or are we shutting him down to make sure he's 100% healthy when this trade comes along? I go back and forth. A part of me say, you know what, I think the Lakers like Lonzo. And I think, he played, I don't see superstar like you do, but I see a very good point guard. And he plays the defense. Now, he's not a tremendous on ball, but he's long, he's rangy. He can play passing lanes, he can block shots, he can rebound the basketball. Or are we making sure he's healthy for when this trade or a trade scenario comes along? I go back and forth. I'm not really sure, Skip. But this is, LeBron cannot fall prey to this. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know what LeBron is playing for. He should just take the rest of the year off. Now, a lot of people in the media that saying LeBron should take the rest of the year off were those that criticized him when he was taking time off to rest.
Sure.
Oh, LeBron, I can't believe you would do this. Michael Jordan never rested. Oh, Karl Malone never rested. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all the greats, they played. Now, you want LeBron to take time off. LeBron James gonna play and play very, very well, I might ask. If you saw that. Did you see Saturday night, Skip Bayless?
I watched every dribble of it.
27 minutes, a little under 28 minutes. I think 27-46. 30, 10, and 12.
Quietest 30 I've ever witnessed.
That's what he do to you. You don't even know it, Jenny.
No, you.
He done paper cut you so many times. You walk out of there and the judge, you think you just like, what happened? Did I not eat? LeBron done nicked you to death.
Nicked you to death.
Nicked him to death, Skip. Baby. And guess what, Skip? When LeBron James was on the court, they're plus 11. When he was off the court, guess what he was, Skip Bayless? Minus 24. So he's still that guy. Don't let this see.
I was just looking at the final score because I lost it. I couldn't remember because I
Did you not hear what I said?
120 to 107.
Did you not hear what I said? LeBron James, when he was on the court, was plus 11. When he was off, he was minus 24. Here's Jenny. What the final score, Skip?
Maybe should have played more minutes.
So that's 13. That's 13 points right there, Skip Bayless. You can count. I know you're an English major, but you can count old simple addition. But anyway, Skip Bayless, you know what's going to happen.
30 and 36.
Yes.
30 and 36.
Okay, your point is?
That's enough. You know, I am actually shocked at how trusting you are of all the information that has been disseminated by the Los Angeles Lakers. And Ernestine always says, I have trust issues, and I do, because I'm always too suspicious.
Yeah.
I'm very suspicious, highly suspicious of all of the above. And again, I've told you many times, as you're finding out about this job that we do, that you're younger in than I am. I've been doing this for a long time. The hardest part of this job is to know injured or not injured. It's just impossible because unless we could invent a machine whereby you could hook it up to that player and you could also hook it up to you and feel the pain or feel the problem, there's no way of knowing just how hurt X player is, right? So all of a sudden, look, and again, I'm with you. If there's a blood clot situation going on, that is way beyond basketball. That is highly serious.
Because they travel quick.
Okay, but it was just so odd to me that at Phoenix, a game they finally lost, Brandon Ingram played all the way home. He played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter and had another big game. You know, he had another 25 points, 10 and 19 from the field, but made both of his threes, played great in the fourth quarter, 4 or 7, 1 of 1 from the three-point line. And I had no indication. It wasn't like he was holding his arm or you know, like I couldn't see anything where it's like, something's going on with BI tonight. Nope. And then 2 days later, they're going to play the Clippers. It was 3 days later, 2 days later, Clippers at home. And all of a sudden they announce after the shoot around, he's out tonight. Really? He's out? Because of what? Well, so they give us some fancy term, DVT, deep vein thrombosis. I don't know. I never even heard of that one before, but if it's blood clots, then that's serious.
Yeah, blood clot for dummies like you. But what did they call blood clots, Skip? They call them the silent killers.
Okay, well, it could be. So if that's going on, that's fine. I just have my suspicions of both B.I. and Lonzo, because the Lonzo thing just drags on and on and on, and I hark back to the day that his father sat right here on Undisputed, and he just nuked Luke Walton. He just burned the bridge completely to the ground and basically said, my son ain't playing for Luke Walton.
He announced it.
He turned my son into a loser. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
So that was the turning point. That was the last straw where Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss probably sat back and said, okay, this is not going to work. Somebody's going to have to go. Is it going to be Luke? Is it going to be Lonzo? And I think they just made the call at that point, let's just shut it down for this, because by then it was starting to teeter and then it fell completely off the map. And so Lonzo just turned his ankle over. It was at Houston. They just won at Oklahoma City, and they're in position to win at Houston. So I was seeing the kids do some nice things, right?
So was I.
Okay, and it went to overtime at Houston, and Kyle Kuzma kind of disappeared in overtime and then had a bad turnover at the end, or they might have won it in overtime. Okay, were the Rockets teetering a little bit? Okay, I'll give you that. But still, the point was that Lonzo just turned his ankle over, and I keep telling you about how many times have I watched LeBron James just turn his ankle over, and he just kind of shakes it off, and he just keeps going. And again, has he been Iron Man? He has been Iron Man. Has Lonzo been Iron Man? He has not been Iron Man.
No.
He can be a little willowy and a little soft sometimes. And
He's made of paper mache.
Okay, he just might be. So is that going to be a problem going forward? It well might be. But the point is, it feels to me like there is some tanking going on here. And it's shocking to me because it's hard to compute in my psyche that a LeBron James team with LeBron still healthy and playing basketball is tanking.
And still playing at a high level. Don't leave that off.
All right, I'll give you that. He's still putting up those numbers. I don't know if I'll give you high level, but I'll give you the numbers.
27, 8, and 8.
Okay.
A season that Kobe Bryant has never had. Michael Jordan has only had one of those such seasons. Jenny, did you know that? As great as Michael Jordan
Remind me.
he's only had one season in which he's had 8 rebounds, 8 assists in a season. And LeBron is playing trash and got that right now.
If you put Michael Jeffrey Jordan at age 34 on this team, there is no way it's missing the playoffs, even if he had missed 18 games.
We'll put LeBron James in year 13, which would have been the equivalent of Michael Jordan being 13, and they no way they missing the playoffs.
Age 34 season. Mike played all 82 games. Who knew?
Well, put it with those G Leaguers. How many G Leaguers Michael Jordan played with?
Lift them all up.
Yeah, lift them up.
1-on-5. He'd tell them just to sit. He'd just play by himself.
Well, why didn't he lift those?
All you got to do is make the 8 spot.
You know what, Skip Bayless? I agree with you. You're right. He would have lifted them up. But I just wonder why he couldn't lift those up in Washington. For 2 years, he couldn't lift those guys. NBA players. Jared Stackhouse.
38 and 39.
But he was the guy. He's the greatest player ever, Skip.
No, he'd taken 3 years off. You can't take 3 years off.
Well, look, you
can't smoke cigars. You can't smoke cigars. I'm warning LeBron. You cannot smoke cigars. I'm warning you.
So I need to put
I'm warning you.
I need to put the other stuff down too?
Yeah, Shannon, come on. You know better.
Oh, my bad. Hold on, Skip.
This guy
You know what, Skip Bayless? You just told, now you used to, when we first came here, Jenny's before you came on here.
Okay.
But you used to fill in. You did a great job filling in, Jenny.
Thanks.
Skip Bayless told me, what did Larry Bird call Michael Jordan? I said, he called him Jesus in sneakers. You mean to tell me Jesus in sneakers at age 38, 39 could not lift the Washington Wizards to a playoff?
No. He had he had no lift, period.
What?
He had no lift.
Hold on. What year was that, Skip, if you don't mind me
let's
asking?
get back to the business at hand. Sorry about this, but let's look at
took a
what's
turn.
happening with these Lakers.
What happened?
Okay.
It's beautiful to watch. It's perfect. It's the perfect closing scenario. Let's just do the hypothetical. They're 30 and 36 with 16 games left. What if they lose all 16 games, which I think is highly possible?
That ain't highly possible.
It's
Stop
highly
saying
possible.
that.
It kind of is, though.
It kind of is. It's kind of like
Kinda
smelling
isn't.
like Tank City here.
Kinda isn't.
Yeah, kind of is. If they lose all 36, they could fall as far, to me, if I have to do the hypothetical, but they could have the 6th worst record, which would improve their chances of hitting the lottery and landing Zion at 11%. That would improve their chances to 11%, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Give the LA Lakers 11% chance. You know, with the league office and all the shenanigans.
You know what, Skip? See, there you go with your conspiracy. Your conspiracy
Once upon a time, there
Trust
was that
issues
did
over
happen.
here.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that happened with the Knicks and Patrick Ewing.
That's what I'm saying. But if that happened this time, you'd say, oh, there it goes again. The Lakers with an 11% chance just hit the lottery, and they got Zion. Okay. And it's beautiful because LeBron can still play his 30x. What did he play?
He played 28.
28 minutes. So 30-ish, you said 28 to 32. So he can do that just as long as he gets his triple-double numbers, especially the big one is the 30.
He wasn't even trying.
He is chasing Kobe. He is chasing Kareem on the all-time point list.
We be able to shoot past Kobe. We ain't worried about Kobe. We worried about Capital.
So you're going to shoot past him. You're worried about getting to Kareem.
Yes.
Okay, so what is it like to you? You can let LeBron chase them while the team is chasing down for Zion.
But
what a beautiful strategy.
Yeah, but just help me understand. You were the one of the ones that criticized LeBron for resting. Rob Parker, so many of the media, why would LeBron rest? None of the all-time greats rest. Now you want him to sit out the last 16 games.
Okay, but that's when the priority was just winning. Now it's not winning, it's just chasing.
But
it's just setting
rest
records.
is rest. So as long as he rests on your timeline,
he rests
or what
on,
they approve.
Wait, he rests on defense is where he rests.
Okay, he rests on defense. But you have no problem.
Yep.
If it's okay with you for him to rest, we got no problem with that. But if he wants to rest because of maybe, you know what, I got a little nick, I could play, but I might do more harm than good, that's a problem.
Okay. Well, he doesn't play any defense. They play no defense.
Did he play defense on on Saturday night? He sure did.
Much.
Yeah, he did. See, Skip, there you go.
Well, there I go, because they gave up 120 at home to...
Skip, look at what he's playing with.
I know.
It's
Not
perfect.
better.
What did I tell you? This is what's happening.
This is just...
It's tank strategy.
No mercy.
I don't know if we ever pictured it could get this bad, but here we are. We are going back to the Raiders, and they think it has just gotten real good. They already made a huge move over the weekend by trading for Antonio Brown. Now Pro Football Talk says their next target could be AB's former teammate, Le'Veon Bell. Bell is a free agent, and he sat out all of last season because of a contract dispute with the Steelers. So Shannon...
Yes.
Is this a good idea for the Raiders?
Skip, when you on the move, you got to have superstars. That's what sells. You got to get butts in these seats at Vegas.
Yep.
Now, it's going to be hot. I don't know how many people have been to Vegas. But let me tell you, come September, it's real hot, Skip.
Oh,
now, maybe it's a dome. Is it going to build a dome? Is it going to be a dome stadium?
I'm not sure.
Because if it's not a...
Probably has a retractable.
Well, it need to be not retracted. It need to be protracted.
Okay.
Because if they got to sit out there in that sun in September, October, it's going to be... And to sit out there with no star, just one star, the more stars you can have, the better your chances are of winning, and the better your chances are coming.
By the way, then the irony of what you just said is when it goes to winter at night, it needs to be in the 30s.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
But Skip, you know Vegas is about shows.
Yeah.
I used to go to Vegas all the time. Saw Siegfried and Roy when they walked the animals, big old lions and tigers coming right down the aisle. I just wanted to touch one. I said, nah, I ain't bother you. You might think,
your old life, Shannon?
Yeah, you might think I'm a wildebeest. Mysteria and Cirque du Soleil.
I love that stuff.
I go all those shows with Blue Man groups. I used to go to Vegas all the time. And the shows was good. But if I went to a show and it wasn't good, I had to give it a recommendation. Thumbs down, don't go see it. Well, if the Raiders don't have stars and they're not winning, they're going to get the thumbs down, not worth going to see. Now, you're asking a lot. I think the thing is with Le'Veon, Coach Gruden will understand the West Coast system. He'll understand how to use Le'Veon. He'll probably more Ricky Waters than Terrell Davis. You know how to use Ricky out of the backfield. Skip, you remember that Super Bowl against San Diego? Throw him the ball, lining them up out wide.
What I remember is the NFC Championship game against Dallas.
Oh, he gave y'all the business?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, y'all the business. He put that business on
y'all? He got a touchdown pass early when they went up 21-0.
Yeah.
You remember the '94 season? Okay,
I do.
Go ahead.
I do remember.
Yep.
But he not the Ricky that went to Philly, and when they threw him the ball over the middle, he said, "For what? For who?" He's not that Ricky Waters. The other Ricky Waters, the one that was in San Francisco and the one that was in Seattle.
Actually, Gruden and Ricky Waters in Philly do not invite him. They got after each other.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I think it'll be a good fit, but man. That's a lot. That's a lot.
He's going to want an AB kind of deal. They're going to have to do sort of matching deals for the two of them.
Because the thing is, listen, this is what we know, Skip. And this is what Le'Veon says, no, hold on. The Steelers, we got this great deal. We got 5 years. We got $70 million and all this guaranteed money. AB said, no, that's a one-year deal. Ain't no money after AB like flipping the pages like, well, maybe they got some money hidden in one of the paragraphs on page 2.
Yeah.
He said, let me go to page 3.
Okay.
Le'Veon just flipping the pages. He like, after year 1, ain't no more guaranteed money. So y'all can get rid of me, discard me at any point in time. I believe, Skip, if you go to Le'Veon and says, okay, we got a 5-year deal, let's just say for $65 million, whatever, that's $13 million a year.
Yeah.
But what Le'Veon is going to be concerned about is the guaranteed money. How much in the first 2 years am I going to get? Am I going to get 25? Am I going to get $30 million? Because all this, you give me $18 million for 1 year, and then after that, I go 17 pages and there's no more guaranteed money. Nah, that's not going to work, bro. So you understand, just like I said all along, Skip, with AB, you understand, okay, you're going to have to give up draft picks for him, but you're going to have to give him guaranteed money to make him happy.
Yep.
And this is what you're going to have to do with Le'Veon. Now, Le'Veon is a different situation. You have to give his team no compensation, but he's going to want a couple of years of guaranteed money.
Yep.
And if you're willing to do that, Skip, I still believe he's dynamic. He still can catch the ball. He still can run the ball, and he's fresh. That's what you want. I know fruit. You don't want no stale fruit. I want to go to the orchard myself and pick my apples or my grapes right out of the vine. Yes.
Is that what you do
every
weekend?
That's what I do.
You go to the orchard.
No, I go to the farmer's market right there in Beverly Hills.
Basically the same.
Okay. I agree with your biggest picture point, which is when they move to Vegas, they need people to effectively buy stock in the Raiders instead of laughing stock. Because last year they could only sell laughing stock because they became the brunt of every NFL joke last year. So they need star power, they need marquee, they need drawing power. They need somebody to spike their ratings. They need reasons to watch, especially when they go to Las Vegas.
Correct.
So I get it. And you might as well double your pop here with the other one. Get the other killer bee. So I can't condemn that. But I'm just telling you, I'm losing respect for John Gruden, who I thought was going to do it the right way, slowly but surely, through the draft.
Interesting.
He's got the stock of draft picks. If you do it right and you hit, which is hard to do, but if you do, you know what can happen.
But you know what he's trying to do, Skip? Mm-hmm. He's trying to mask it. Okay. Well, if he doesn't hit on that, because I still want to see what he's going to do with that Chicago Bear pick. I still want to see what he wants to do with that Dallas Cowboy pick. What he's trying to do is mask it. Well, I did get AB. Well, I did get Le'Veon. No, bro. I need to see what you're going to do with those picks.
Okay. So we always have to ask WWBD, what would Belichick do? Because you think he's God, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would Belichick do in this situation? He wouldn't do either of these. He would say no to AB, and he would say a big no to Le'Veon. He would say you can find both of those guys elsewhere.
And even if he did say yes to AB, Skip, he ain't tearing up that contract and getting him a new one.
He's not doing it. It's not good business. So I'll say it again. I'm not a big Le'Veon Bell fan. I've never been a big fan. You and I have gone back and forth for going on 3 years about it. In his first 5 seasons in the National Football League, he had the second most touches. So there's a lot of tread gone from those tires, right?
Yeah.
His last year, which was a big year in 2017, he led the NFL in touches and rushes.
Yep.
So he's taken his fair share and more of shots.
Right.
I've never loved the way he ran because I don't love the tiptoe style. I know he'll bull it up in there when it's time, but he tiptoes, and I don't like the tone it sets for the offense. I think he tiptoes too much. And you say he can't catch the ball so he can operate like a third or fourth wide receiver or receiver. Okay, I will give you that. I still think he's a little more sizzle than steak as to how he can impact the scoreboard. I still say more sizzle than steak. So just me, I wanted Gruden to do it slowly but surely the right way, and it sounds like they've committed to the quick way. It sounds like instead of just win, baby, they're going to do just spin, baby, because this is spin. That's what you're doing. You're just teasing, right?
Well, if you were going to stay in Oakland for another 5 or 6 years,
I got
you could do that.
Okay,
Look what the Rams did.
Yep.
When the Rams left St. Louis, they could have stayed pat.
I know.
But because what you got to do, you in L.A., you don't win in L.A., Skip, they're not coming.
They're not coming, and they're not going to give it a chance.
But Aaron Donald was drafted.
Yes.
Jared Goff was drafted.
Sure.
Gurley.
Right, Gurley was drafted.
But then they go out and they say, we need Akeem Talib.
Okay.
We need Ndamukong Suh.
Okay.
We need to get Whitworth. We need to get some guys that's go. Let's get our.
Let's win now mentality.
Yeah, Marcus Peters.
And they just went and got Eric Weddle. And when I heard that, I was like, that's it.
Oh, Weddle.
Look out.
Yeah, Weddle.
He can play, and he is a proven commodity. And I know he's nearing the end of the line, but just watch what he does for a Wade Phillips.
I wonder why he didn't want to go, America's team. Why would he not want to play for America's team?
We're going to discuss that next.
Interesting.
We will discuss that in just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
If you will hang in with us.
So we're going to hang in.
Okay. So, to me, I got to give in to this. Once you've done AB, you should just go all in and do Le'Veon.
Hold on. You losing faith in your guy?
Yeah.
You love John Gruden.
And I'll be the first to admit, will I be more likely to watch an Oakland Raider game next year if they do get AB and Le'Veon? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Will we be more likely to talk about them? Last year, we avoided talking about them because nobody cared.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the only time we talked about it was because something John Gruden said. It wasn't about the product on the field. No. It was about something we need pass rush. And we're like, bro, you had Khalil Mack and you traded him.
He always did have a good soundbite. One or two.
So all I know is Skip Bayless.
They even gave up Osemele. I thought he was their best lineman. I know he's hurt last year. They gave him away basically to the Jets.
Right.
And it feels like they're going to downsize on open up some more cap space. Right. And it might be for Le'Veon. But it seems like Osemele, if he bounces back from his injury, could be really good.
Yeah. Well, they still got a decent offensive line. They drafted the left tackle. He's a first-round pick. They still got Rodney Hudson, who's a very good I don't know what's going to happen with Donald Penn. They moved him to right.
They did.
It's going to be very interesting, but I understand what Coach Gruden is doing. He's like, we got to win. And we need
This may be more Mark Davis than John Gruden.
Maybe so. Yeah. But, Skip, we need to win. We can't wait till we get to Vegas to start winning.
No.
Yeah.
We need to take a winning product to Vegas.
I would agree.
People reason to watch. The Raiders had a busy weekend. So did Skip's Cowboys. Are they about to make a huge free agent signing? We're already seeing this. That's a good one. We'll tell you about it next.
No mercy.
Let's get to Skip's Cowboys. Sean Lee is staying in Dallas. He restructured his deal this weekend and will reportedly earn $3.5 million next season with incentives that can push it up to $7 million. Dallas could also be in the mix for free agent Earl Thomas, according to NFL Network. And remember that Thomas met with the Cowboys during the Combine. So, Shannon, can you see the Cowboys making this move?
Nope, can't see it.
Don't want to see it.
Even if I had the Hubble telescope, I couldn't see it, Jenny. That's how far this is. Yeah. Oh, hometown. Did he need a hometown discount?
Home state
discount.
Yep.
Hold on, Jenny. Wait a minute. I might be willing to give you. I would give the New England Patriots a home state discount or a home team discount because you know why? I know I'm going to be in the playoffs. I know at worst case scenario.
Well, we know next year's Cowboys will be in the playoffs.
Hold on, Vinny. Let me finish. Jenny, I thought this was my turn to talk.
Wait.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Didn't the Cowboys beat Earl Thomas's team in the playoffs? Thank you.
Shannon.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Continue.
That was the Patriots, and they said, "Well, Earl, this is what we got. We know you're worth this, but we trying to, what we do here is that we get guys, and you're gonna be able to make it up. You're gonna be able to get to the playoffs, possibly the Super Bowl. Okay. Oh, you want me to take less money so Jerry Jones can fill up that yacht? And ain't no guarantee that I'm going to the playoffs with the Cowboys because we know every odd year what happens, Skip.
They go to the playoffs?
No, that's even years. 14, 16, 18. If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, so that's how it is. History just says that's what happens. It's decreed. The NFL gods say you will go every other year. Is that how it works?
I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about this here? Since you won your last Super Bowl, how many NFC Championship games have you been to?
I just look to the future.
Yeah.
The future is now.
And it doesn't.
It is now.
It doesn't look bright.
Was Dak Prescott on all those teams you're talking about?
Whoa.
No.
They're the Cowboys, America's team. They're supposed to win. But anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, Skip, you keep telling me that, the Cowboys are going. I thought Earl Thomas made it abundantly clear that he wanted to be the highest paid safety. Now, Eric Berry makes $13 million a year. I think he got a 6-year deal at $78 million, like $50-something million guaranteed. Now, Earl Thomas...
78 guaranteed, I think.
No, 78 was a total, and maybe 50 guaranteed, 45, 50 guaranteed. Now, Earl Thomas...
That's a lot.
Earl Thomas said he wants to be the highest paid safety.
Okay.
I don't know how he does that in Dallas. Now, Deshaun Lee, I like Deshaun Lee signing, Skip, for the simple fact. They reduced his number. He's going to move to strong side linebacker, but he knows Jalen Smith position. He knows Van Der Esch position. And he can play nickel. It's hard for me to believe that you can find someone that has that kind of value that knows all these positions and can give you. The thing with Sean Lee is never about his ability to play. It's his ability to stay healthy to play.
That's true.
So with that being...
Don't forget, he can also coach. Just go ahead. He can. He's like the coach of these kids.
Well, he didn't do a good job when they played the Rams.
Well,
you remember that,
Skip? Wait a second. The coach had himself on the field at that point.
Yeah, what happened?
On the 3rd and whatever it was.
Well, he should have known.
7.
Well, he should have known what was coming.
Well, I don't know what happened, but my man, Wolf Hunter, he's on the sideline watching the biggest play of the game.
Oh, my bad, J. He had an upset tummy. He had tum-tum. Oh, he needed some Imodium or KO pet, J. Biggest play of the game, my Chunter.
He's just lost. He's just
my Chunter. But anyway, Skip Bayless, to answer your question and to make a long story short, because I know I seem long-winded, it's not going to happen. Now get over it and move along.
All wishful thinking from Mr. Sharpe,
the
president of the Cowboy Haters fan club.
What do you think,
And I appreciate that, but, you like to occasionally refer to Moby Dick, the Herman Melville classic. Am I right about that?
Big old white whale.
In which Captain Ahab pursued to a fault the great white whale.
And what happened?
And this whale that is being pursued by Jerry Jones is not exactly white, and he's not exactly great, right?
He's not big either.
He's little. He's a miniature whale, right? So here's the point. I believe that this is his quote-unquote Moby Dick, and I believe that last year he was all in on Earl Thomas, and he did everything in his power to get Earl Thomas. Except that Seattle jerked the rug out from underneath him when he thought the deal was done for a second-round pick. And he was willing at that point to take on Earl and his AB-like contract demands where you're going to have to give him his money, right, before you're going to make him happy. And all of a sudden, Seattle says, April Fool's, Jerry, but We want a first because we're feeling a lot of interest in Earl all around the league.
Yeah, we like that.
So when you do that to Jerry Jones, you rub his pride the wrong way. He is out. So he was out on this deal, but all of a sudden, fate intervened, and God bless him, I'm knocking on wood for Earl Thomas. He broke his leg again. Career threatening? Is he that guy anymore? I don't know. He's going to be 30 in May, right? Mm-hmm. So the point is that in this case, I think that Jerry Jones will figure out how to talk him into some home state discount. When Jerry wants to get a deal done, he's always gotten it done. I can give you the history back to Deion Sanders. When it's time to make a deal, he's always made a deal.
He made Deion one of the highest paid defensive players.
Okay, all right. So he got it done.
Yeah. So if you're going to you'll get it done if you're going to do that. He ain't give you no discount.
Okay.
This ain't no Dollar Tree.
Yeah,
you always want a discount.
No.
See, now, you always want the homeboy hookup.
So they do have DeMarcus Lawrence now under designation.
Didn't he tell you what he wanted?
Yeah.
Didn't he tell you want a long-term deal?
DeMarcus Lawrence wants one.
Yeah,
right
okay.
now he's 20.5, right?
Yeah. Okay, what you gonna do with Zeke? What you gonna do with Dak? What you gonna do with Coop?
There's plenty of room.
What about
for all
Byron
the
Jones?
above. There's room for all the above.
Okay,
then take care of all of them.
Earl Thomas said, since you got plenty of room, give me my money.
Yep. So I think that remember what happened. Remember DeMarcus Ware at age 32.
Yeah.
Dallas gave up on him, and what happened?
That's what y'all do.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Oh, D. Ware.
So
he's known for a Bronco now.
32, he goes to Denver and made the Pro Bowl twice in a row. In the second year, you won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay, so I got a 2-for-1 here.
Okay.
Justin Houston just got cut, shockingly, by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
So all I need to shore up the defense to make it a Super Bowl defense,
right,
an NFC winning defense, is you go get the deal done for Earl Thomas, and you get you buy on the cheap on Justin Houston because he's out there on the market.
Why are you going to buy on the cheap?
Yeah. Well,
Justin
you'll
Houston
get him for a lot less than he's worth.
No, you're not. Yeah. No, he going somewhere else to get some money.
We'll
he gonna
go about that.
See, you look at it, Skip.
Okay.
Only you have that kind of value and deluded and the Cowboy fans. They're like, everybody want. No, they don't. They want their money. And the Cowboys ain't paying it, and if there's no guarantee you're going to the Super Bowl. But what if Justin Houston went to the Patriots for the cheap?
Well, maybe these guys are all seeing what's coming in Dallas because what's coming
ain't nothing
is
coming.
Dak and Zeke and Amari on offense,
ain't nothing coming.
And all of a sudden,
ain't nothing happening.
A lot's happening.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on.
You know, it's stair steps. You took your first step, you won a playoff game. You made the playoffs and won a playoff game. Yep, here they come.
This the same man that said, so that's the way the NFL works now. It's etched in stone. Each year you go step, step, step. You just criticized me for saying.
But you already bet me like 5 cases of dew that they're going to miss the playoffs next year.
Okay, and they will.
I feel so confident in that bet.
Yeah.
That's the most. I'm
just let him like this.
No. And guess what? I'm going to have all your cases of dew when we with the Super Bowl next year in Miami.
No.
I'm going to be on the beach, on South Beach, with all this dew laying inside me on the beach.
Just hanging out?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to get all the girls.
On the
they
beach.
all want to do.
Don't nobody want no diet dew.
Everybody wants diet dew.
Nobody drink no mouth.
You're going to have a flock.
All the girls.
I honestly only know 2 people in my entire life that drink diet dew. You and one other young lady that I knew for 30 years.
You know
young
who
lady.
loves diet dew? My dad.
Oh,
he and
really?
Skip would hang out and be just best friends. He has
Interesting.
one every day, too.
Interesting.
To start the morning, just like this guy.
Gross.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
He's a big fan over here.
Diet dew.
So here's what's going to happen. I predict Earl Thomas will get done, and Justin Houston will be a Dallas Cowboy to replace Randy Gregory at the bookend defensive end to DeMarcus Lawrence.
No.
And I think they might just ride it out with DeMarcus this year under the tag. I just think
he ain't going to be happy.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when guys don't be happy?
Yeah,
I mean, we just saw a guy that wasn't happy.
He's got to play his way out of Dallas and show everybody how good he is, and you jack up the incentives on this. So here we go.
We don't want no incentive.
Yeah.
The man said, give me $65 million fully guaranteed on a $100 million deal, and we can talk, Jerry.
You know, your biggest fear, you told me this during the football season, was that they would sign Earl Thomas.
Yes.
Is he still Earl Thomas as he approaches 30 in May?
Yep, he's still. I believe he's still one of the top 2 free safeties in all of football.
All I know is when Dallas visited Seattle early last season, he gave
y'all the business.
Game over.
Yes.
It was the Earl Thomas game. And he could have lots of Earl Thomas games at Jerry.
No, he don't want those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He want to have lots of money games.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind, though, he's missed 19 games over the last 3 seasons.
Scary.
So you got to remember
But
that.
here's the thing, though, Skip. How many games has he missed?
19.
He knows this is his last significant payday. Last one. Now,
So is the league going to say, we'll take care of you? When has this league ever said, we'll take care of you after 2 broken
I'm going to go
legs?
to the team that says they'll take care of me and not give nobody no home state or no home nothing.
You don't get the allure, the appeal of being a Dallas Cowboy.
It ain't none.
In fact, I think you regret that you weren't on America's team. You didn't get to wear the
Beat the
metallic
brakes
blue.
off 'em.
Yep, you didn't get to wear that star on the side
I
of
beat
your
the brakes
helmet.
off the Cowboys.
I don't care what you do.
Would you have wanted to?
No.
Yes.
I just wanted one of the
You would've
helmets.
been made for them.
Nah, I know how
the
to
way
make
you
one.
talk.
Yeah.
You would have been a good
But
fit,
y'all
I
go,
think.
but Skip, y'all gonna take the L this year? I'm gonna get my case of due back.
You're not.
Okay, wishful thinking on both sides of this thing. And I cannot believe I am saying this, but could the Lakers actually trade the king? Yes, we will discuss that with Chris
That is
Broussard
ridiculous.
next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. This Saturday night, don't miss the biggest pay-per-view fight of the year. 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world put their perfect records on the line. Errol Spence Jr. takes on Mikey Garcia for the World Welterweight Championship live from AT&T Stadium. Spence Jr. versus Garcia. Saturday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view. Order now.
No mercy.
Back to the NBA, the Lakers season has been a disaster, and now people are taking shots at LeBron. An anonymous Western Conference executive called out LeBron's leadership, telling Bleacher Report that he's been throwing his teammates under the bus this season. Adding fuel to the already blazing fire, Jeff Van Gundy made a very bold statement during Saturday's loss to the Celtics. Take a listen.
I think in the offseason, they have to rebuild this roster, right? And to me, it could be a trade for an Anthony Davis, or I think they need to explore trading LeBron for getting as much as they can.
What are you doing? Seriously. No, seriously, what are you doing?
You got to get on the right timeline. I'm going to say, if I could trade him for the Clippers into cap space, which would give me a better chance to get Durant or Kawhi Leonard, would I not do that?
LeBron James is not getting traded, okay?
You got to put everything on the table.
No, you can't.
What are we doing? All right, we are joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, good to have you back with us.
Good to be back.
Well, let's wait on that. Let's see what
But we haven't
this answer
decided
is.
yet.
I noticed there was one person not laughing while Van Gundy was going on,
Me.
and that was you.
Okay, do you think that the Lakers have even considered trading LeBron?
First, let me say this. I covered Jeff Van Gundy when he coached the Knicks, and Jeff always has said one of the toughest things to do in the NBA is coach an aging superstar. He had that with Patrick Ewing.
Right.
Yeah.
They ended up trading Ewing, and it didn't work out for the Knicks or Ewing. Right. So that's Jeff's philosophy. So it's not totally surprising that he would go there. But to answer your question, no. There's no way they've even thought about it. There's no chance they would trade him anytime soon. First of all, he and Magic are in lockstep. Okay, Magic believes, as he should, in LeBron James. So there's no way he has considered trading LeBron. To think about trading LeBron after an injury-ravaged season, not just for him, but for the whole team, when you, with a disjointed roster that you knew didn't fit him, why would you do that?
Well, you didn't know it when you did it, or you wouldn't have done it.
Right, but to give up that quickly,
Yeah.
and we forget he was the 4th seed. We're quickly forgetting that before the AD saga and the injuries hit.
Okay.
Right.
And for all the talk of his demise, he's still 27. 8.5 boards, which matches his career high, and 8 assists a game on 51% shooting.
I
mean, for all the talk.
Stop writing, Chris.
I
How writing you?
keep
And
writing
then-
the Lakers record right now, 30 and
Just
30.
over and
Okay,
over
hold on.
again.
I'm just doing it like Jack
Like
Nicholson in
it.
The Shining.
I can confirm
You remember
that.
Jack Nicholson?
Johnny.
Look,
Okay.
if he
Over and
isn't,
over again, 30 and 36.
if he is no longer the best player in the world,
Yeah.
he's still top 5, easily. Okay? And so to think about trading LeBron at this point would be ridiculous. Let's say in the summer, if you get Anthony Davis, now you're straight. If you don't get Anthony Davis, but you get, say, a Jimmy Butler and maybe a Marcus Morris or somebody like that, and KD leaves the Golden State Warriors, which we all think he will, Like, now all of a sudden, you're right there with anybody else in the West.
Kimba, now you're throwing Kimba.
I mean, you have so many options with LeBron. Because if you just get more players that fit his style of play, as we've known, now all of a sudden you're right there. And LeBron, look, you're going to certainly get a motivated LeBron next summer. He's going to come back over the summer. I bet you he is going to work his tail off. He hears all the talk.
You mean on Space Jam 2 or on basketball?
Hold on. What did Michael Jordan do when he filmed the original Space Jam?
Well, he won some championships.
But he worked his butt off that summer because that was the summer after they had lost to Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, wait a minute, Skip. Hold on, Skip.
They had both won 3 at that point.
Hold on. What you said?
But wait, one guy was 3-0.
Well, hold on, Skip. It's not your turn to talk. It's Chris. You said that in the process of filming Space Jams, the original, it was coming off a defeat in which the Orlando Magic, led by Shaq and Penny, put butts in the kink. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
Because he'd been out for 2 years.
No, I'm right that.
Okay.
But that's what I'm telling you. So, and you also may get a humbled LeBron. LeBron helped put this roster together. He's seen, you know what, that was the wrong thing to do.
Yes.
LeBron has been criticized. Defensively, if you watch the last week, he's hustled more defensively.
I told you
because
that.
the criticism has come, I think.
Yes.
And also, even if he's lost something defensively, we know that at his age, you got to understand that. But you can protect a weak defender. And I don't even know if he's weak defender, but a poor defender at this point.
Steph Curry and James Harden all the time.
You can do that. So, and they were doing it early in the season before they lost their spirit because of the Anthony Davis stuff and then the injuries and things like that. So I think also, and this is what I was saying to Shannon in the break, at this stage, as LeBron loses some athleticism, two of the options you have with him, in addition to just how you build around him, what if LeBron at this stage is willing to just do kind of one thing? Be the point guard as you've always wanted him to be, and be like Magic and give you 22 points and 12 assists a game. Or just be a regular forward. When they played Boston, he was letting Caruso handle the ball. He was kind of playing more like a regular forward. I actually think even at this advanced stage of his career, if he just played a regular small forward, posted some, just was scoring.
I agree.
I think he could lead the league in scoring or challenge the league leaders in scoring and get you about 30 a night. He's still going to get 6-7 assists just because that's who he is. So I just think you have some options. That would make it easier to fit players around LeBron if he's more of a one thing rather than doing it all. And that would take some toll off of him. Because having to do everything offensively is taxing.
Especially after 16 years.
Right. So to answer the question, no, there's no way they've even thought about it or would think about it.
And they were not thinking about it. The only thing needed to be on this table is Jeff Van Gundy's head for spitting out some foolishness. Skip, let me ask you this question. Let's just say for the...
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn.
Sorry.
This is one of those...
You know what, Skip? Go ahead.
You go.
I go. I want to go after you.
I was on the edge of my seat.
I gotta hear this.
I gotta hear this. Ask me a question. I wanted you to tell me.
No, I want you to go. I'll go after you. Go ahead. All
right, Skip. Floor is yours.
Back to Magic Johnson. You say he's all in on LeBron, completely invested.
Yep.
I have not heard a peep from Magic Johnson these several weeks, right? Maybe you've talked to him, but I haven't, and I haven't heard him speak publicly one word. Am I right about that? Okay?
You're all right.
So is it fair to say, because this is my gut feeling, educated guess on Magic Johnson, I believe he's very disappointed in what he got from LeBron this year in many different ways, because we didn't see LeBron close early. There were 6 or 7 games early. He should have just said, get out of the way. I've got this. We're good to go. Get the kids out of the way. He takes over. He either parades to the free throw line or he just keeps attacking the basket and gets the game home. Or he makes a defensive play or two that gets the game home. I saw LeBron, and I believe Magic did too, who wasn't quite as engaged as I expected him to be. He got his wish. He came to Hollywood, and I expected that he would be more involved with his teammates, that he wouldn't be disassociated. It felt like from the start he wasn't connected with his teammates. It was like me and they. That's how it came across to me. And I don't think Magic loved that because Magic's the ultimate leader of the group. Mm-hmm. He would take kids like a Byron Scott or whoever and mold them into what he needed to run Showtime's fast break. Mm-hmm. So from LeBron, I didn't see, you said he does everything on offense. And again, I love him playing point guard, but when they needed him to go full on attack mode, as you call it, James Harden, he just didn't do it.
No.
We just didn't see it from him. Maybe he said, I don't need to do this, but it's like he just said, you kids do this too many times. And then on defense, he was disengaged too often for my taste. It just offends me. And I keep telling you at 34, Michael Jordan made first team all defense. And it just offends me that he's better than that. That's beneath his dignity. And it hits some lows in those losses right after the trade deadline. There's like 4 or 5 games when we just kept pointing out play after play. We just wouldn't even run it.
You keep using the age 34. LeBron at 34 is year 16. Jordan at 34 was year 13. It's not the equivalent.
After coming off a break.
You know?
Right. So, but anyway.
Right? No, you told me it was my turn.
Okay.
And then it just offends my sensibilities because I have high regard for LeBron James that he's shooting 66% from the free throw line. That's just an attention to a detail where now all summer I want him to shoot 12 billion free throws. That's what I want him to do until he can shoot 80% because he's good enough to do what you want him to do, which is make 80%. Now he's a career low 66%, and he's become even more of a disaster at the late game clutch free throw line.
What you mean late game? He was a disaster in the first quarter. He missed 3 again the other night. He missed his first quarter 2 nights ago.
When he passed Jordan.
And now we get to injuries. This was the first time in his whole career, and I'm just still like astounded that he missed 18 games with a pulled groin?
Tear.
But was it torn? I don't know what it was, but it shocked me. And I kept saying, remember what was, I keep bringing up his tweet that first day, right? Back in no time, right? Yeah. Dodged a bullet. Yeah. Okay? And I thought, that's LeBron. He's Iron Man.
He dodged it.
Okay? So
Didn't say it ain't crazy.
Is Magic sitting back thinking, gee, am I going to get an injured, aging superstar next year? Are we going to continue to see Father Time tap him on the shoulder and see some decline? So is it possible that Magic has just sat back with Pelinka and just kicked around the notion of, should we trade him? Will he be not even close to LeBron next year? You say he's going to work his tail off and come back way better than he was this year. Boy, I'd like to believe it because it'd be good for the Lakers and good for the league and good for us and good for the networks. I thought I would see that this year. I'm still reeling from what I didn't see from LeBron this year.
Let that sink in.
Okay, but I keep telling you, you just roll out of bed and get those numbers.
But why couldn't Jordan roll out of bed?
But I'm with Chris.
There's so many guys that can't roll out of bed and get those numbers.
On this team, he could have led the league in scoring. I thought he would, actually.
But how about this? Let's just say for the sake of argument, the Lakers do that. They trade him for cap space. Who's to say Kevin Durant? Who's to say Kawhi? Who's to say Kyrie is going to the Lakers?
All over.
Okay, you trade LeBron and you don't get a superstar.
Okay, here's the worst case scenario. What if you obviously don't trade him and you go into next year and nobody comes? You're all dressed up and nowhere to go. What if nobody comes except Jimmy Butler or something? You know, what if you can't pull it off?
We're going to get somebody.
Okay?
If they got Jimmy Butler and shooters, just, regular nondescript shooters, Kyle Korver types.
Okay, now you need
They would be, and Durant leaves.
Yeah, got to leave. Right.
He's got to leave. Okay. Although, when we're going to get to Golden State, for 4 straight, that's nobody's done that since Bill Russell. Yeah. So their 4 straight titles would be a challenge for them if Durant stays. But I think they're right there. If they just add some shooters and Jimmy Butler, for all his issues, the dude can
I like him. I like him.
He's tough.
And he's two-way.
But Skip, let's be real, though. LeBron James playing with these guys. Look what he went on the court with. 3 of these guys that he played with within the G League.
You mean now?
Now.
Oh, I thought
a lot of and he's playing without a superstar. Nobody else. Name the other guy that doesn't have a superstar. That when we look at Houston, you got James Harden and Chris Paul. You got Golden State. You got the Thunder. You got Paul George. The only really team is that when you look at Utah. Donovan Mitchell, he's on borderline. They don't really have anything else. The Nuggets, they got Joker, but nothing spectacular.
I agree.
But when we think of teams that's going to really, really challenge,
right.
The Celtics has Kyrie, and they are loaded with talent. They might not be superstars, but they got guys that Philadelphia, they got stars.
They got stars.
Oh, and we ain't gonna talk about old Toronto. Old Toronto, even when Kawhi doesn't play. They give folk the business. And when he do, Kawhi locked folk down.
They're better without him.
And they don't.
I can show you the numbers.
How would you show me nothing? How would you show me nothing?
I'll just show you.
To show over there.
Better winning percentage without.
All I know is Toronto with Kawhi is better than the Spurs with DeRozan.
No.
That's what we know for certain.
Wait, you mean the Spurs, who have the second best record in the West at home, and they're about to have the first?
Unfortunately, they play 42 games on the road, and they got one of the worst road records. Skip.
Well,
but anyway,
you know this.
LeBron predicted they were going to catch the Spurs. Lakers would.
LeBron is not going anywhere.
You know you can't trade.
He's here to stay.
He's here to stay.
27, 8, and 8.
Guys, here's something we need to talk about. Is it time to start worrying about the Warriors? Because something is going on, and we will discuss next.
No mercy.
The Warriors' struggles continued last night with a 4-point loss at home to the lowly Suns. Kevin Durant had to leave the game with an ankle injury in the middle of the fourth quarter. With the game tied, Golden State has now lost 6 of their last 10. And Steve Kerr said after the game that the Suns, quote, beat the crap out of us. And Klay Thompson even called out the fans. Take a listen.
I expect our crowd to be a little more into it too. Like, I know it's not the playoffs, but it is our last go-around at Oracle. At least you can stand up if someone make a good play, especially in the beginning. We need that energy, especially this time of the year. It's hard to conjure up energy every single night because you're looking forward to the playoffs and that run. So we expect our fans to kind of, bring that from the jump. You can't, it's like us though, you can't bring it every night, but still it helps when it doesn't matter if we're playing the Suns or the Bucks, whoever it is, we need that energy from them because we feed off that.
Whew, okay, Chris Broussard still with us. All right, Chris, is this loss a big deal or no big deal?
Well, I definitely don't think Klay should go at the fans. That's the wrong thing to do. I'm going to say for the most part, it's not a big deal. Like 3 weeks ago, I was 100% that the Warriors come out of the West. Now I say I'm 90%.
Really?
So I'm giving a little significance to it. But this week, look, they wanted to show something against Denver. That's the second seed. You were playing for the top record in the West, and they pummeled them. Are they up for Phoenix? Obviously not. So, look, there have been only 3 teams in 52 years, in the last 52 years, to three-peat. And you could even maybe say 2 teams because 2 of them were Michael Jordan's teams in different segments. Mm-hmm. So it's tough to win 3 straight because complacency, boredom, egos. It's all about May and June, right? and even back then, it wasn't as big of a deal.
Right.
But still, if you look at those 2 Bulls teams that three-peated, their third season in both times, the record was the worst of the 3 teams that that three-peated. So that it's tough to do because I know they're looking forward to the playoffs. So I believe in them, and they're still the heavy favorite. But all that said, they do have some issues. Defensively, they're down to 15th in the league. And we've always raved about their jump shooting and their offense. But defensively, they've been great over the last several years. They're not great anymore. They're ranked 15th in the league. Only twice in the last 30 years have teams won the championship without being ranked in the top 10 defensively. The Shaq-Kobe Lakers in 2001 and LeBron's Cavs in 2016. Yep. Boogie Cousins, I don't want to put it all on him, but look, the numbers, you mentioned the numbers with Kawhi. They show Toronto's better. The numbers with Kyrie show Boston's better without him. The difference is Kyrie and Kawhi are proven winners. They're proven champions, and their supporting cast is not. They haven't proven in Toronto or Boston they can win anything without those 2. Whereas it's the flip side in Golden State. They've proven they can win it without Boogie, and he hasn't proven he plays winning basketball. Right. And the eye test, he looks great, but when you look at the numbers, they're significantly worse offensively and defensively when he's out there. Draymond is not the same defender he used to be. Certainly not the same three-point shooter. They're just laying off of him playing 4-on-5, right? And so I think Steve Kerr may have made a blunder when he started Boogie right away. I think he should have gave Boogie the second team and said, this is you. We're running the offense through you on the second unit. It would have given them more depth, which they lack.
Right.
And he would have put up his numbers and all that. At that time, he couldn't have an attitude and all that because he was just trying to fit in. Now, if you cut Boogie's minutes or put him on the bench at the end of games. Now you got Andrew Bogut. It's just, I mean, hopefully he wouldn't, but yeah, there's a good chance. He feels like I'm 15-8. I'm playing well, and now you could have problems. So they're more vulnerable than they've ever been since Kevin Durant joined them. And Houston is really coming along at the right time. So I've dropped them from 100% to 90% in the West.
The thing that concerns me about the Warriors, and I'm not overly concerned, Skip, is that I don't know what Clay's talking about. You had a 13-point lead at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
Skip 16 at half.
So here, the thing is a situation where against the Nuggets the other night, Skip, they were up 19 in the first quarter, and the Nuggets come all the way back to take a 37-36 lead. So they're giving these leads back. But what's most concerning is these injuries are starting to mount. You know, Clay missed time, Steph Curry missed time, Durant missed some time. So we keep seeing Draymond miss some times. We keep seeing guys, and whereas before they can miss a guy for a stretch. You miss any of these guys come playoff time, you're going home. You're getting bounced. You miss Steph Curry for 2 games against Houston. You miss Durant for 2 games. You miss Klay Thompson for 2 games. You're going home. The days of them being able to play without one of their big 3 and still be able to have the firepower to get it done, that's not going to happen anymore. And guess what, Skip Bayless? I guess we can't frown on the Suns anymore, huh? Remember how you lost, the Lakers lost to the Lonely Sun. Oh, I can't believe LeBron James lost to the Suns. Not only did the Suns took that show on the road and put butts in the Warriors, Skip.
What did they do the night before at Portland?
They
got annihilated.
And the Bucks.
They were down by 29.
What did they do to the Bucks?
You might have gone a little too far.
Did they put butts in the Warriors? A simple yes or a simple no? It's simple as that, Skip Bayless. But when I look at the Golden State Warriors, they're not the feared team they once were.
Okay.
Because teams have seen, like, hold on, they getting beat 20 at home? Now, I can understand you lose a game or 2 at home. That's nothing to sneeze at. But you losing by 26, you lose by 28, 33. And now the Suns come in, you give teams confidence, Skip. But I think it has a lot to do with the injury. Steph hadn't played well lately, Skip.
He has
He's
not.
shooting 38% from the floor, 31% from the three-point line.
Yeah. And what happened after Kevin went out last night was 6:43
he
left?
Disappeared.
Okay, Steph, it's your ball game. Close it. And he back-ironed a 3 to tie, and that was the end of
that. And he had one wide open. They reset. They got the rebound, and he just took his time. Oh, this going in. I don't even know why y'all did that, Phoenix. And then he missed it.
You know, to me, this is a big deal because they have now lost 5 games by 20-plus points at Oracle in its last year at Oracle.
Right.
Sure.
And this counts as a 6th one of those, one of those embarrassments at home, because you're up 16 at half. You just gotta close this out. So I'm going to drop my confidence in the Warriors to 70% because something's wrong in this group. It's like, again, Kevin talks about, Kevin Durant, the joy. You know, we don't have the joy. And then he went at Steve Kerr after the game the other night, after the big home loss to Boston. And Kerr said we didn't play with the passion, the anger, the urgency. And Durant's response was what about, I thought you told us it was
love,
the joy.
right?
The joy we're supposed to play with. And it was the first time I thought, ooh, KD went at Steve Kerr a little bit there, like, oh, really? And then that video at the end of the game of Steve Kerr, and I'm not a lip reader, but if we can just watch that for a second, it's something to do with Draymond, and I'm so bleeping tired of Draymond's what? I don't know. I'm so bleeping tired of Draymond's shooting?
It's hard to
or
tell.
Bull
jive.
Or bull jive.
Watch it a couple times. Shenanigans.
Right.
I don't know why he would be tired of Draymond shooting. It's not very good, but he doesn't shoot very often. So it's probably the bleep part, right? It probably is, because I'm sure he's tired of Draymond's BS.
You got to deal with him.
Chris, Draymond gets a foul, and it's become so now, every time he just like, man, that wasn't no foul. Dude, you fouled the guy. He could knock the guy on the floor, and then he gonna go to the referee, that wasn't a foul. And at some point in time, the referee's like, Draymond, just back up, bro. You can't argue every single foul, and he argues every single foul. So even if he doesn't touch it, He's lied so much. He's cried wolf so much. You look at him like, Draymond, just go up the court.
And I still say the bridge is burned between Draymond and Kevin Durant. Big picture, long term, it's burned.
Well, 25% from three don't help either.
Well, and that we talked about Steph earlier. The fact that they don't have to guard Draymond, like you used to have to guard. Yes. He was hitting 35%, something like that.
You remember that game 7 against the Cavs?
Yeah.
He was killing. I mean, he would have been the MVP. 32, 15, and 9.
Yep. I agree.
So now you can back off of him and pay more attention to Steph and Clay and the rest of them.
So what happened on Friday night? They summed it up and they said, okay, watch this. Denver's there.
Yep.
It's 1 versus 2 in the West. And Klay Thompson goes out. To his credit, he makes 9 of 11 threes. Well, if he's going to do that, you're probably going to win the game, right? Yeah. And again, I'm not sold on Denver. I'm sorry. I watch them a lot. I keep waiting to see that game where I say, there they are, and I'm not sure. It's Jokic and what?
Right, I agree.
I don't know.
I'm not sold on them.
Yeah, especially
I'm not sold.
But the things that makes the Warriors so scary, never in the history of the game has a team had a third option that can go get you 60. Name the team. You talk about all the old school Lakers, the old school Celtics. Name a team that their third option can go get you 60. Because that's what the Warriors have. Klay Thompson can go get you 60.
Okay. He can also take a shot at the fans at Oracle, but that's all another issue, right?
Well, I mean, since he's shooting, he might well keep it going.
Yeah, they start to feel like a miserable team. And then they say after the game that Kevin Durant has an ankle contusion. And I'm like, I've never heard of an ankle contusion.
Skip, you see the man.
Contusion?
Skip.
I mean, he stepped on a foot, so he rolled it.
If you're 7 foot tall, with 154 pounds, what your ankles looking like? Look at those little ankles. Them little ankles. Come on, Skip.
Have you heard of anybody getting kicked in the ankle and having a contusion?
No.
I've never heard of that.
He stepped when he shot that jump shot. He came down on Ayton's foot.
I know. I saw it.
He rolled.
Yeah, come on,
over. But he walked off.
Why'd they call it a contusion?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like weird stuff is going on with.
I mean, that little ankle. Come on, Skip.
Yeah.
It's tough to three-peat. Even as mentally tough as Michael Jordan was, he took both times. He retired after the three-peat.
Yeah.
Because it's so taxing. So that's what they're going for.
I mean, they tape Kevin Durant's ankle, they put 2 Band-Aids on it. And that's how they tape his ankle. His ankle's so small, Skip.
It wasn't Michael's choice to retire after the first.
Well, stop doing that, Skip. No, stop doing that. Stop doing that. I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do that. Okay, what about the third? What about the second time? He took 3 years off.
Yeah.
And went to Washington.
Yeah, because they ran his coach out of town, and he said,
"Right,
if you that guy,
he
that guy. How did we get to this?
He that guy.
If he that, I can't tell.
You can't tell? Really?
I can't tell. He had Doug Collins. And who did he have after standout back? Who did he have after that one?
Where?
In Chicago.
He had Collins, and he had Kevin Docker.
Yeah, and then he had Doug Collins. So I can't tell. I can't tell.
You can't tell what?
He that guy.
Oh, stop it.
Seriously?
Just stop it.
All right, Chris, good to have you. Thank you for joining us.
My guy went with a lot of difficulty.
He's still going. He is still
going.
Will Antonio Brown
Phil Jackson wasn't Phil Jackson
receiver in Oakland? They can settle this later. We'll discuss next.
Chris a hater too, y'all.
No, I tell truth. Truth.
No mercy.
After all that drama in Pittsburgh, Antonio Brown is about to be a Raider. So, Shannon, what do you expect from AB in Oakland?
I think his numbers will take a slight dip. The chemistry that he had with Ben was 9 years in the making. You just don't roll out of bed and just pick up that chemistry with another quarterback.
Yep.
You see, Skip, you go on the practice field and you do things. You get an opportunity to watch the practice tape. And then you go into the game, and then you watch the game film, and you see, okay, AB, I think you should have ran the route like this. Okay, Ben, I like the ball over here. That's years of communication. The Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison combination, the Jerry Rice, Montana, the Steve Young, Montana. You look at Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. That's years and years of repetition and practice and in game and understanding the little nuances, the look that you can give a quarterback and a quarterback can give you, and you know exactly what the other is thinking and exactly what that player wants you to do. So I think you'll see a slight dip, but John Gruden understands is that he needs to get AB involved early in order to have him late. It's like a quarterback. You wouldn't ask a quarterback to not throw a pass in the first quarter and then hope he comes out and try to win you the game late.
Yeah.
You give him something early, give him something easy. Give him a nice throw, maybe a swing out of the backfield, maybe a slant route or out route before you start to open it up. Occasionally, Skip, you might do something, you try to hit the ball off the top. But I just believe that Gruden would do his very absolute best job to try to get Antonio involved early so he knows he can have him late. Also, AB knows that he needs to be on his best behavior. Now, he's got everything that he wanted.
Yep.
You wanted to change the scenery. You wanted a quarterback that respects you. You wanted guaranteed money. You get all those things. Now it's up to you to be on your best behavior. Okay. Practice on time.
Yep.
Meeting on time. Be accountable when things are not going your way. Don't start throwing coolers on the field. Don't start throwing teammates under the bus. I believe he'll be on his best behavior. But I don't see what he's averaged over the last 6 years, 125, maybe 1,400 yards, double-digit touchdowns. I don't see that. But I still believe he'll be somewhere around, say, 90 to 100 catches, probably 1,300 yards.
So, to everything you just said, I see a honeymoon period. I don't know, 9, 10 games. But at some point after game number 10, you can book it, they will clash. This is intriguing to me because now who has the power? AB now thinks that he just busted up the whole system, right? He broke through Pandora's box.
Right.
He showed the NFL that the player can win under any circumstance. AB now thinks he's an NBA-sized superstar and that he has the power.
Yeah. He pulled a quarterback move.
He did. He's got the leverage over his head coach. I ask you, do you think Mike Tomlin ever screamed at Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh?
No.
I don't think he ever screamed at him. Trust me. I know because I covered John Gruden's teams. He will scream at any and everybody at any moment when he so thinks it's deserved. And again, he coached Jerry Rice and Tim Brown near the ends of their careers when they were calloused and hardened. And he did respect them because they knew how to play and they knew how to practice.
Correct.
Now, he has raved about Antonio being the hardest practicing player in the National Football League, and I believe there's a lot of truth to that. So you win big brownie points with John to start off with because you do it the right way when it's time to practice.
Correct.
Antonio at the Pro Bowl 2 years ago raved about Derek Carr and called him special. Derek was not special last year under Coach Gruden because it's hard.
Wow.
He hadn't been, but it's hard to play special football under John Gruden as your quarterback coach and your coordinator and your head coach because he is all three. And I got to tell you, AB is going to miss Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's just going to miss him.
You don't really, Skip, but when that's all you've had, you think it's easy out there with anybody else. You really think it's all you and that the quarterback has nothing to do with it.
And listen, Big Ben, for all of his faults and problems and criticism of his receivers, listen, he can still shrug off rushers with the best of them.
Yes.
He can buy time with the best of them. He will try anything at any moment, which only benefits your star wideout because if he sees even a flash of black and yellow, he'll just throw it.
Right.
He'll just fling it up and hope you can go get it.
You know what, Skip? AB don't even have to go there.
Yeah.
Look at his numbers when Big Ben is not throwing him.
Okay.
Look at his numbers with Landry Jones. Look at him when we played with our guy Mike Vick. Look at all the other quarterbacks that's thrown AB passes. Look at his numbers with those guys and look at his numbers with Ben Roethlisberger.
There you go. And look at Derek Carr's numbers under Gruden last year. He finished 27th in the NFL in QBR. Not good.
Skip, I was never sold on Derek Carr.
I know, and I'm not sure John Gruden at this moment is sold on Derek Carr because there has been speculation he might be traded in the offseason if, in fact, they thought they could go get whoever, Kyler Murray.
We'll trade you Derek Carr and 2 first-round picks for that number 1 pick, Arizona.
Okay.
You think they do the deal?
Well, they might. They just might. I would never do it. I'd take Kyler or Buck.
I don't think they're going to do. I don't think they would do that, considering that they got their quarterback on the market for a 2nd or 3rd round pick. So it lets you know they want a quarterback, and it seems to be that's the quarterback that they have their sights set on.
So if we look at John Gruden's history with wide receivers, so he goes to Tampa and he takes over Tony Dungy's talent, right?
Yeah.
And he did put them over the top and over the edge against his former team, the Oakland Raiders, in the Super Bowl. And on that team, I'm talking about Keyshawn Johnson, was the leading receiver.
Correct.
And they won the title. And the next year, about halfway through, Keyshawn went south. Or maybe Gruden went south on Keyshawn. quotes from Keyshawn about what happened. He called it a toxic situation, and Keyshawn said, I just didn't want to be there. It was just something about the way I was being coached, talked to, dealt with. Mm-hmm. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was happy when I got the phone call that said, hey, we're going to deactivate you for the rest of the year. He wanted to go home.
Right.
That's how bad it got between Keyshawn Johnson, big personality,
right,
and John Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, John's he's got a little Napoleonic complex going, like he's just the little guy who played, smaller college football. And, by God, he's going to show you that he's in charge. And if you defy him, he will fight back. And he fought back on Keyshawn. They just won a Super Bowl together.
You know what, Skip? For me, I've never been, I'm any coach that's ever coached me will tell you that I'm very respected.
Well, I know. Well, I read this just for you because when I got to that point about the way I was talked to, okay, that's John Gruden.
There ain't never been a coach. You can win 55 Super Bowls.
Yep.
You not finna talk to me. My grandpa used to tell my brother, say, boys, I want you to leave any job you ever came on the same way, leave the same way you came. And I said, Papa, what you mean? He said, you came as a man, you leave as a man.
Yep.
And if you think you're going to talk to Shannon Sharpe anything less than a man, you and I going to have problems.
Okay, wait until that first moment, maybe on the practice field, when John blows his whistle. Antonio, you got to cut that route off shorter. You can't do that. You're drifting, whatever. And Antonio says, talking to me? You know who I am?
So interesting.
Who's got the leverage? Who's got the leverage?
He thinks he does.
It's funny that you say that because I remember I was running around in practice and Alex Gibb, who's the offensive line coach, say, Sharpe, what the hell are you, 84, what are you doing? You need to do. I was like, hold on, Alex. How many routes you running in the NFL? I said, he was saying it like, but I go back and look at it. What you say, what Mike might have said, what Gary Kubiak might have said. John, what do you think?
Okay.
If he didn't have a problem with it, you don't have a problem with it. But you might be right, Skip, but I'm telling you, John Gruden, look, you're going to be back same way. If you talk to him like that, you're going to be in the same situation he was in Pittsburgh.
I agree.
So you got it basically, in other words, you got to handle him with kid gloves. Because if you don't, he gonna start bucking again.
And wait for that game when Derek Carr throws 4 errant passes, throw them in the dirt to Antonio after the game. Just wait for
that game till he get 3 catches for 35 yards and no touchdown.
Yep.
It could be great TV. Just could be.
I was just gonna be watching just for that.
Disastrous at the same time. I feel like they're gonna have a talk about this before it actually happens.
Well, hopefully you had that before you gave him that money, Skip.
Handled. Yeah, you'd hope.
We done picked up the phone. Okay, bro. So what's your expectations?
There's got to be some guidelines. All right, speaking of possibly wanting out, is Kyrie Irving officially done in Boston? Brian Scalabrine knows the Celtics better than anyone. He joins us next.
No mercy.
So the Celtics and Lakers faced each other on Saturday night, featuring former teammates LeBron and Kyrie. Boston handed LA their 5th straight loss, and Kyrie had 30 points in the win. LeBron had a visit from Miss Trip Dub with 30 points in just 28 minutes. Shannon has mentioned it all day, but it didn't matter. After the game, LeBron and Kyrie had a hug and a secret chat. There have been a lot of rumors that Kyrie could be out of Boston when he hits free agency this summer. So we're joined by former Celtic player, current Celtic TV analyst, Brian Scalabrine. Good to have you with us.
There it is.
Way to go.
It's going to be a busy day for you, but we're happy to have you with us. And you have the inside. Do you believe Kyrie already has 1 foot out the door?
No, I mean, I don't think anybody knows what Kyrie's going to do at this point. I'm not sure even Kyrie does. In the NBA, there's a lot of things that can go. If the Knicks have been rumored to Kyrie Irving. Now, see, how do they finish? Where do the lottery balls bounce? Okay. Do they get a Zion Williamson? If they do, or the number 1 pick, if they do they trade for Anthony Davis? What is Kevin Durant going to do? How did the Celtics finish up this season? Do they make a strong run? Do they go to the finals? If they do lose, how is it? Does he get the ball at the end at the end of the game? There's a million things that can go wrong. And I would say, for all the free agents, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, it all seems to be, how does this year unfold?
But maybe the better question is, do any of his teammates at least suspect that maybe he has a foot out the door? Do you get any of those vibes?
Well, I think all free agents now are keeping all their options open. They want to know what their life looks like. This is going to be, so if he stays with Boston, it'll be a 5-year deal. If he goes somewhere else, a 4-year deal. They want to look at a lot of different things. And maybe Maybe his teammates know, he doubled down early on the commercial with his father. He's saying, I want to come back. Maybe his teammates know that it's not as solid as that was with his 2 commitments early, but maybe they know that it depends on how this thing unfolds. And if we play well, which right now they have been, even though the Houston game I thought was the worst loss of the season. So a lot of different things can happen. Right now they look locked in. So I think the teammates, they all seem pretty up-spirited right now, especially after the win against the Lakers and Golden State.
Yeah, but before they had that big win at Golden State, Jaylen Brown said it was toxic. We hear other guys that we're not playing together.
Sure.
I understand that you play this game and you understand that long road trips are an opportunity to bring things together. But when you have teammates seemingly putting little stuff out there and you know what they're talking about,
sure,
does that weigh into whether or not Kyrie okay, this is what y'all guys feel? And you hear, they play better without Kyrie. They win games without Kyrie. They went to the Eastern Conference Final without Kyrie. Kyrie said, well, y'all don't need me then, so deuces.
Okay, he might say that, but also remember that Anthony Davis has been linked to the Boston Celtics, right? I don't know if Anthony Davis is going to continue with this guarantee that I'm not going anywhere with LA, then he'd take it back, and now he's on the barbershop with LeBron. Right. And, those guys are in cahoots with the same agent. So I'm not sure, but if the Celtics made a trade and got Anthony Davis, that might help the Kyrie situation. So we don't know what teammates are going to be there. Terry Rozier came out the other day and said, when his energy is down, our energy is down. Well, Terry Rozier is a free agent.
Right.
So I just don't know what this team looks like. And I think there are so many variables with the Celtics this year. They have picks. They have young players. They have some expiring contracts that they can move if they want to go out there and get Anthony Davis, which I'm hearing that Kyrie and AD are kind of linked. I'm also hearing that Kyrie and Kevin Durant are kind of linked, right? So how does all this stuff unfold? What Kevin Durant does, how they finish, might even affect what Kyrie does. So I think you have to take into account the teammates,
right?
The lottery balls. Everything is in play when it comes to Kyrie.
What did you make of Kyrie's? I thought he laid it on a little thick when he hugged LeBron after the game.
Yeah, the Boy Scout handshake. Wait, let me ask you. You had a former teammate, and you guys go to war out there. Right. You doing the Boy Scout handshake afterwards?
No, we just dap it up and hug. Hey, bro, I see you down the road.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That game had very, very little juice to it. I thought, you know what, Lakers, Celtics, throw out everything. Throw out LeBron's minute restriction, Kyrie, the drama, everything. Throw it all out. It's Lakers, Celtics. We're going to see a big-time battle. Man, that game had the juice of a preseason game. Oh. It was so disappointing, but I get it. Lakers are in their situation, and the Celtics are right now playing pretty good basketball over the last 2.
Kyrie did put on a show on Saturday.
No question.
He did. I mean,
he's special.
Lit it up. He is special.
And there's one thing that happened earlier. And Aaron Baines, he's like the most unsung hero of this team. When he's out, they struggle. And they struggle with like their effort. When he comes back, it's a little bit different. Aaron Baines, Kyrie forgot to rotate over on a Williams dunk. Aaron Baines said, you need to be there. Kyrie gave him a look like, you shouldn't be talking to me like that.
Really?
But right away, he goes down, makes a play, comes off a screen, gives Aaron Baines the ball, he shoots it, he makes it. It was like, all right, I could see that he was upset, but that upset, it lasted 5 seconds, and they moved on to the next play. Aaron Baines is like the guy that stabilizes all the drama with his team because he just plays hard, and he'll call out from Kyrie to another guy that doesn't play very much. He's calling everybody out. Yep. He's keeping everyone accountable, including himself.
Why does he do that? Where did he learn? Spurs. Right?
Oh,
he learned how
it all
to win
goes
as a
back.
Spur.
That makes sense.
But that's the difference, is not letting it linger.
Sure, 100%.
Because we see a lot of guys, if they feel like the guy's inferior, you can't talk to me like that.
But now they just moved on. And I would say maybe in the Houston game that didn't happen.
Right.
So like this season for the Celtics had been a disappointment as far as the regular season, the ups and downs. That Houston loss was embarrassing, getting booed in the second quarter. Yep. But they come on this road trip. Big game tonight versus the Clippers. Are they going to be able to win this game? The Clippers are a hard-playing team at the end of a road trip, 6 days in L.A. Yep. Probably it's against them. But if they can, now that whole plane flight over where they feel like they got it all together, long plane flight back, maybe this is what happens for this team to sort of turn the corner.
So how do you explain what has happened when Kyrie hasn't played, they've won?
He sits out a lot of bad games.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, he picks and chooses. He'll sit out Cleveland on the road. He sat out
Sacramento.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, the Sacramento game, he sat out that game. So there's a lot of that. They barely won. And if you look at the record when he hasn't played against playoff opponents, it's a little bit better than it was like when they were making that conversation. But they're not winning a lot of games without Kyrie on the road against really good teams. That's just the way it is.
And they're definitely not winning in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
without Kyrie.
They might win at home because last year they won at home. Remember,
they got to Game 7.
Yeah, they won one road game last year. One playoff road game was against Philly, the confetti game, where Philly thought they won the game. That was the only game. So when you want to look at and to win in the NBA, to win a championship, you got to win on the road.
Yeah, especially if you don't have home court.
And now, yeah, exactly. They might be not home court in the first round. You have to win on the road. Kyrie allows them to win on the road because that stuff doesn't bother him. His game, I mean, he's gone to Oracle Game 7 and made the biggest shot in Cleveland Cavalier history.
He did.
On the road.
Correct.
In one of the most hostile environments. So clearly it does not bother him. So far, there's a lot of guys on the Celtics. In the past, it has bothered them. Maybe they move on from that. Maybe they don't. But I've seen Kyrie deliver on the road. I have not seen the rest of the guys deliver on the road.
Okay.
Go ahead, Scott. Well, I was going to revisit. You talk about AD and Kyrie. You know you're going to have to give us a lot of those young pieces.
100%.
Maybe a Jason Tatum.
Maybe
a Jaylen Brown. And maybe some draft.
And maybe that conversation doesn't even happen. Maybe these guys get to the NBA Finals and Danny Ainge says, you know what, I'm good.
No way. You got a chance to get Anthony Davis. That's a generational player. You're not saying you're good.
You're already in the finals.
I don't care. That's a generational player.
You're going to break up a team that...
Break it up.
When you don't know what Kevin Durant's going to do. You might say, all right, we're not as good as the Warriors right now. KD can walk. Then if you go to the NBA Finals, that means you beat Toronto on the road.
Right.
That means you beat Milwaukee on the road. That means you went into Oracle and lost.
Right.
And now you can get AD. But if KD walks, you might be the best team in the NBA.
Maybe. Okay, so sum it up for us. Look at the bright side. Why have the Celtics been better lately? When they click, what happens to you? What's the formula?
From a stat perspective, they pass 320 times a game when they win, 280 times a game when they lose. The ball is moving freely. But I think it's more than that. It's about being connected, helping the helper. Guy cracks back on the weak side, being able to talk to each other. When things go sideways for them, and it does, 8-2 run in the NBA, 14-6 run. Those things happen. Kyrie stabilizes them. They need more people to stabilize them. Trust each other. Trust the execution. They had Toronto, I think they're still on a run right now against the Celtics. That started 2 weeks ago in the second quarter, and it's still going. So they need to be able to correct it themselves. And a lot of people have been pointing to, Brad Stevens needs to call a timeout when this happens. No, you need to be able to fix this yourself. Because in the playoffs, you can't just keep banging timeouts when this happens.
In the first half.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you agree that they play a different brand of basketball when Kyrie's on the floor because Kyrie dominates the ball?
No.
You believe they play the same way?
Well, I told you before, they win. Whether Kyrie plays or not, it doesn't matter. The passing is still the same when they win.
Okay.
When Kyrie plays or not, when they lose, it's still the same. So those games that they're losing, when Kyrie is sitting, 280 passes. The games where we're winning with Kyrie playing, 320 passes. Right?
Okay, interesting. Great stuff. Really interesting to have you with us, Brian. Thank you for joining us. Those long flights home are more fun coming off a win. So, all right, has Antonio Brown changed the NFL forever? We'll discuss the latest next.
No mercy.
Antonio Brown is officially headed to Oakland. The Steelers agreed to trade AB to the Raiders on Saturday for a 3rd and 5th round pick. AB is also getting a new 3-year deal for about $54 million with over $30 million guaranteed. So, Skip. The Raiders got rid of Amari Cooper last year. Now they've added AB. Who's the better receiver?
Give me Amari Cooper, especially for the long term. I'll give you this. Antonio Brown makes plays, and he makes waves. Amari just makes plays. Amari Cooper is the one undiva wide receiver in this National Football League. He is the one star receiver who has no diva in him. Maybe it's him and Julio. Julio seems to have just a touch of diva.
No,
in
he
him.
doesn't.
Just a touch.
No, he
maybe.
doesn't.
Amari's got 0.
Yeah.
0. So I think I'm going to take 6'1", 210 pounds, running a 4.4 40, 4.42 actually, over 5'10", 180 pounds. And I know he's lightning quick, Antonio is. But his 40, I don't know which, he didn't go to the combine, so his 40 times are all over the map. But there might have been one that was 4.47. You saw one that was more 4.57. I think he got timed at that too. So you want to talk about effortless, easy speed? I'm talking about Amari. You want to talk about the best route runner I've seen at wide receiver? I'm talking about Amari. Amari loves being a Dallas Cowboy. Amari loves catching passes from Dak Prescott. Amari comes up big time clutch on third and whatever, because just look at the 2 Eagle games. Clutch, clutch, clutch.
Sure.
Look at Washington on Thanksgiving. Clutch, clutch, clutch. Look at Seattle playoff game. Clutch, clutch city. Amari Cooper, I loved what he did. He changed life in Dallas, Texas. They went on a 7-2 run when he joined them, and one of those losses was that first debacle of a Monday night loss to Tennessee, which was his first game.
Skip, you need to stop playing. You are entirely too big for this. This is where Amari Cooper ranks. I'm taking A.B., Julio, D. Hopkins, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen. I'm taking A.J. Green, Odell Beckham, Keenan Allen.
Okay, but
we're
just doing Amari versus AB.
And that's what I'm putting all those guys.
Okay.
AB is universally regarded as a top 3 receiver. Whether you like DeAndre Hopkins, whether you like Julio Jones or Antonio Brown.
He's a top 1 diva too, right?
You shouldn't be a diva when you put up these little measly numbers that Amari Cooper be putting up.
He just made the Pro Bowl his first 2 years in the league.
Because everybody else backed out. You should go to the Pro Bowl. Everybody backed out. He's like the 17th alternate.
I don't remember that.
Okay, we just go take it to the last 4 years. Antonio Brown has 200 more catches, 2,000 more yards, and 21 more touchdowns. Can I interest you in that?
Okay, but where did Amari start to fade? Because John Gruden took over for the Oakland Raiders. Is that going to start happening today? Antonio, watch
Skip.
and learn. Watch and learn.
He always had that lull. He'd have a big game of 200, and he'd follow that up with 2 games with 32 yards. As you saw, he had that hot streak where he was just lighting people up, and then he had the last month of the season where you couldn't hear a word out of it.
I heard lots of words out of it.
Skip, stop playing. Look, I get it. Antonio Brown's causing some headaches, but when you talk about field, this is just who's the better receiver. Now, who antics can you tolerate or put up with?
Yeah, but who do I want on my team? Do I want Antonio? Right now, if I could swap Antonio for Amari in Dallas, I wouldn't do it. I told you. I'm not being a hypocrite. I told you last week.
You like losing.
Huh?
You like losing.
Oh, really? I like winning.
I can't tell you.
Changed life. What do you mean?
Win.
How many cases of due did you lose because they won the division?
It wasn't because of Amari Cooper.
Yes, it was. Did it not turn around when he walked in the door?
Skip, I get it. AB can be a nuisance. He can be a headache. He can be all those things.
Yeah.
But in that 100 by 50 street, they can't see him.
And plus, the cherry on top for Amari Cooper is he played for St. Nick at Alabama, and you're disrespecting him. I thought you were going to protect a player from Alabama.
No.
Am I right?
This is about NFL football. And NFL football, there ain't but 1 or 2 receivers that I'm taking in front of AB. And you know that I know. Now, for me, Julio's number 1. But I don't try to sway people's mind when they say AB or they say D-Hop. But those are the universally regarded top 3. Skip, he's not even better than Devontae Adams at Green Bay.
Boy, I'll take him any Sunday.
You got no choice.
Monday.
Skip, given what you had, Cole Beasley, Hurd, D will or D won't. Given what you had, you take anything. You take me right now at 51 almost.
Changed my life, did Amari Cooper.
No, he didn't. All you
AC. Turn on the AC in Dallas.
All you did was win 1 playoff game.
All I did?
Yeah,
that's pretty special.
Really? That's what you do. So where's the banner at? Are they going to hang it in the middle of the field by the Jumbotron, or they going to hang it up in the...
Next year, we're on our way.
You're on your way to do
this
nothing.
flight plan.
You saw the Eagles sign Malik Jackson.
Oh, wow. Boy, I'm scared to death.
You should be.
Yeah.
You remember what happened with you now? You know what Malik does. You remember what he did to your quarterback in New England?
That was a long time
Oh.
ago. Yeah. Like 8 years ago?
Never here nor there. But Skip, now you didn't stop playing. Now you know good and well. Amari, I know you love the Cowboys.
No, I
and
just
you
love Amari
things.
Cooper. I always loved him.
You can still love him.
I'll
But he's
take
not better than AB.
Yeah.
He's not better than AB.
Which team's going to go farther next year, Dallas or Oakland? I don't know. Help me out.
That's not what the question was. I'm not going to change it.
That was not the question.
What was the
I
question?
just changed the
I
question.
know you
Change
want
the
to change
question.
because your argument, like you tell
Can't
me,
go there
that's
yet.
the weakest argument that you had in 3 years.
We need more time to settle
take
this
him.
one. Let's move on to Skip Spurs. Are
Yeah,
they
how
suddenly
about 'em?
looking like a threat in the West? More happiness around here. We'll discuss next.
They're not a threat.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Spurs are one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. They won their 5th straight last night, beating the Bucks behind big games from both LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. In a related story, the Raptors won again yesterday without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup. Yeah, they go
Shocking.
together. Skip, are your Spurs actually better without number 2?
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I'm about to tell the truth. Would you believe my Spurs beat the team with the best record in the NBA
interesting.
last night and beat them convincingly? Would you believe my San Antonio Spurs are on the way to having an even better home record than they had 2 years ago when number 2 actually agreed to play basketball for them, play actual games? Would you believe my Spurs are only 1 game back of Denver for the best home record in the West? And would you believe that Toronto actually has a better winning percentage without number 2 on the floor because they're 14-5 without that guy?
With your guy, think about this here. Without that guy, your team is the 7th seed. And Kawhi's 5.
Well, that's going to change rapidly because we got a bunch more home games.
In Kawhi's 6 years, he was there. 5 of those 6, they were either the number 1 or the number 2 seed.
Well, they had Manu Ginobili.
Where was
Tony
Toronto?
Parker. Yeah.
Now Toronto are viewed as serious contenders.
Well, they're deep, man.
What don't do that.
Yeah.
This is not about
got a lot of players.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip.
Because they don't need that guy.
And look what the guy's doing. Kawhi, career high, 27.
How do you explain 14-5 without him?
don't-
And by the way, how do you explain he hasn't played 19 games? He just randomly says, I can't
Load
go.
management.
I can't go tonight.
And they understand
What?
it. That's what you do to
I
superstars. You
can't
give them
go
certain
tonight?
privileges.
No.
You do?
You and I both know, Skip Bayless.
What?
The Spurs are not better without Kawhi,
I think
and Toronto
they're
are
much
not better without Kawhi.
They're much more
Kawhi
unified. They're much more
is a
together.
legit two-way player.
Oh, is he? Well, he used to
Paul
be.
George,
Yeah.
and Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
You know that, I know that, Skip. So get a man his credit.
I'm
Skip,
starting
get him
to
some
like my
credit.
Spurs. I think my Spurs are getting dangerous in the West.
To do what?
Yeah.
To do what?
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.